Okay, so we're live, and now I'm gonna copy the link so everyone can join. Just a second. So this is when you show the Sunday roast, where we do random crap, basically, just mess about. Okay, so one. So yeah, you'll see it in the chat. So there we are. Just wait for people now. So I'm gonna send it to Swiss on Twitter as well. So just a second. Okay. Is in the link, and then I'm going to send a couple of. Okay, so just got to wait for people now. 9 viewers. Wait for people to join. Oh shit. Okay. So I'll just monitor the side chat for a bit while I wait. Okay, so Cameron says hello. Hey, incoming. Unfortunately, I'm busy. G Whistler joining a bit. Need to eat. Fair enough. Fair enough, guys. Yeah. So just wait for Swiss now. Do this. That side there. Perfect. Stizer, I can't join Calvin evening. Okay. Getting error message. Okay. That's weird. I don't know what to do there. Settings, invite people. Share the permanent link. Try again. You left, check the link at Twitter.
All right, Asim.
All right, George.
All right.
Send the new link.
Yeah. Swiss is just about to come over, I think. Same with Stizer.
Yeah. I'm going to DM Stizer the link. And I think on your side, I can hear my voice. So if you can lower that a bit.
I'm on 4 out of 100 volume.
What? Okay. I'll just I'll DM Stizer. See what's up there. Yeah. I've had. I don't know. We can just mess about on the stream, do what the hell we want. But yeah, I mean, I've got a good idea for a game. I'm thinking. What similar? Well, different, like the opposite to what Champchi did on his stream, where we had to guess who the politician was. I'm thinking of doing something where I show you an image of a politician, and you say the first thing that comes into your head. Which I think that'd be quite fun to see people's reactions. So, like with Tony Blair, for example, you know, like you say terrorist or something, first thing that comes into your head. So, yeah. 14 viewers. Let's just see. Just wait for people to join.
Maybe do Blair as once I've heard.
Mm.
Already, if it's a good image of him, I reckon.
Yeah, tweet.
I think everyone will see it.
Yeah, tweet the link. I'm just going to tweet the link. Stizer said. So yeah, but yeah, I was just thinking, maybe we could all share a picture of a politician and see what our reactions are. And say this is the link. Join my Sunday roast stream. Okay, there we are. Yeah, I've tweeted it out on Twitter to everyone, so people can join when they want. So that's sorted, and yeah, so that's good. So yeah, how you been then since we last?
Good mate. Yeah, I was going to join Swiss's stream, but there was a lot of people in there for most of the time, and you weren't getting a word in edgeways, so I thought
fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I got some good stuff in, but that was towards the end, and like I muted my mic and went off to do other stuff, and they're having a bit of an argument, so it was all right.
Yeah, I watched nearly all of it though. And I thought like it just wasn't. There was a lack of sensible people, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few like JJ and stuff, but I mean, yeah, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of bickering, but that's the whole thing with Sunday stream with so many people. You know, you're bound to have some bickering. So, yeah. It's all right. Just wait for people.
Oh, we got Chantry.
Oh, cool. Hello there.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we got you.
Perfect. So I was having a good idea for a game. It's like the opposite of what you did. So one of us.
Yeah, I got that. So you show a picture of a politician.
Well, we can all show one. We can all have one to show people. It's just showing an image, really. So let's say, for example, if I showed a picture of like Tony Blair, you know,
then you say
like,
terrorist.
Terrorist, yeah, and like David Cameron, pig, that sort of thing, you know. Yeah. So do you think that's a good idea for a little bit of a game? So should we just wait for more people to join and then we can start?
Yeah, sure. Stein,
Swiss.
I think, yeah, that Stein, Swiss, I think are on the way. Angels might stay in the side
Angel
chat.
said she's staying on side chat for a bit. She might come on later.
Yeah. What did you guys? Yeah, what did you guys get up into the Sunday stream until I joined? Because I joined about 1.5 hours way through. I was on my way to uni to get on my PC. So, yeah.
Not much. It was.
There we go. Now that works.
Oh, hey, Stizer.
Oh, Stizer's here now. Good.
Yeah, it fucks up when you put it in the side chat sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why people use Twitter, I guess.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I've just tweeted out to everyone, so everyone who wants to join can join. So it's fine.
Oh, good stuff.
You know, it's just a casual stream to just mess about and do whatever. It's not as formal as Swiss's stream. It's just a casual sort of meetup thing. So yeah, I don't know if you're listening, but I thought of a good idea for a game. So each of us can show a picture of a politician, and we say whatever comes into our head first. So like with Tony Blair, like terrorist, for example, that sort of thing. So I think that would be quite fun, actually. What do you think?
Nope.
No. Oh shit. Okay.
Sorry to piss on your parade.
Okay. Yeah. You're always angry. You don't want to have fun anyway, so it's all right.
Ooh.
No, I'm Scouse. I'm just always honest, and
Fair enough.
I don't want to play the.
It's a Scouse with a mouse, mate.
It's too much like Gambi's fucking.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I'm the middle class metropolitan elite out of all the.
You should vote for them.
Yeah. No. Oh, my tweet this morning because of April Fools. I said I've gone out, turned into a Lib Dem Remainer who worships Tony Blair. So yeah.
I know. I seen that. Someone give you someone. Was it you?
Oh,
you responded to it. Champs, you responded to it.
Comrades.
Yeah. Hello,
comrades. There we go.
So what's this? There's a game where we call Tony Blair a terrorist. That sounds like
no. Basically, it's basically like that. So each of us takes a turn. Each of us takes a turn to show a picture of a politician, and we all have to say the first thing that comes into our head, basically.
But I can't show a politician, so I'll yeah.
we can give it a bloody good go. I don't mind.
We can, but just leave me out of it.
Sure.
All right. Then.
I don't mind saying your guys' pictures.
Sure. So, do you know anyone else is gonna? I'll check the side chat. But is anyone else gonna join? Because then we can always wait and maybe chat for a bit while people join.
I've just chucked the link over to Angels on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm probably going to be nipping in and out, to be honest. I can be here for a little bit, but then I've got to do some tidying up and shit and sort some dinner around the house.
Fuck's sake.
I'm sorry.
How
do you
know
how fucking tired I am after fucking hosting that 5-hour-long stream on my channel? It takes it out of me, man.
Is it 5 hours long?
Pretty
I had
much.
to watch the whole thing, though, Swiss. So,
So you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, no, I never watched the whole thing all the way through. I skipped to the good bits.
That's just cheating, that is.
But I mean,
Yeah,
you've got to fast forward and replay. You might as well use them.
It's true.
All right. Sorry. Let's get down to
Business.
what we do. Why New Left did you invite us to your channel exactly?
Just for a bit of fun, just for a wind down, really. Nothing serious. It's not
Wind down from what?
the Sunday stream. You know, just chill out a bit, really.
No, the Sunday stream is the wind down from the week we've had, for fuck's sake.
Oh no, because there are after streams we do after the Sunday stream. New Left had said to me because it was Easter to try and do like a little crossover thing where we'd like try and blend my stream into the back end of his one, which I was like, sure. We always have after streams for our ones anyway, so why not have one here?
Sure. Wind downs and after streams. Yeah, I understand that. But New Left, dude, there must be a reason. I mean, you've got us all here. I mean, you've got Sty, you've got Captain Swiss.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah. If I went to the wind down, I'd have a wank.
Don't do that in the stream, please.
Oh no, no.
I went for a kiss on our first.
Oh yeah, no, it was good. It was a good thing I didn't have the sound sorted on that test stream and I didn't upload it. But you know, he literally, it was like pissing sounds, and we were like, George, are you actually in the toilet? And he was like, yeah.
Nice one, George.
They're in the room. Imagine how great these streams are going to be once we've got like fully VR capable streaming technology.
I don't want to. I don't know. No, thank you. George pissing in VR. No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. He can have like a camera mounted on his head so you can see it from his perspective as well.
No, thank you. No.
Yeah. Wow. That's just weird, man. But anyway, I can have a go at this game thing, I guess.
Yeah, screw it, let's do it.
So yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one.
I've got one already, so do you want me to go first?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Oh, right. Shit.
Let's just hope your computer can handle it.
You see it now?
I just saw that. Oh, cool.
So you've got to click on the click on the thing to make it bigger. Wow, we're going into like tunnel vision mode here. Big fucking Toad Man. Is that how we play? Do we just shout abuse at the person we see on the screen?
No. What I thought was Sontaran.
Oh, from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it. Guys, all right, shout words. I guess it's got to be like your first instinctive reaction then. Is that the idea? Yeah, Toad was mine.
Yeah. So our conclusion is Eric Pickles a toad.
Yeah, I mean, pickles are green and toads are green. So, but he's not green.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna love this one.
All right, come on, guys, at the fucking ready.
Okay.
Don't make it just me. Let's do it.
Okay. Screen share. Yeah. Television. There we are. Can you see us?
Oh, fucking pound shop woman shit.
Which?
I'd like to speak to the manager.
Stole my fucking goddamn milk.
Oh god. Oh yeah. Oh god. No. Yeah. I just think thief personally.
Yeah, thief. Yeah, I would go with thief.
Yeah. Everyone's Oh shit.
Stole my fucking milk.
Yeah. Who wants to share the next one?
All right. Bring it. Hello? Am I on mute?
No, he's just trying to. He's just. You should actually prepare this shit New Left.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that next time.
Yeah. Let's think if this is a pre-run.
Yeah. It's our very first Sunday roast thing, so.
That's what Jesus said.
Jesus didn't say anything.
You know, Jesus would have called it a Sabbath roast.
Well,
fun facts there.
To be fair, Jesus would have
been too busy banging fucking Mary Magdalene.
No. I was gonna say, yeah, Jesus was probably just being busy being fucking alive. Yeah. Let's not tell any Jewish jokes.
I know. I know, right?
Let's not, shall we?
Swiss, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a good one to share.
Okay, well, we were waiting for you to share it anyway.
Oh shit! Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
There we are. Yeah.
Oh, fucking mustard
Snake.
wanker.
No.
Snake.
Uh,
Snake. Snake.
all I can say is don't. He always shows up in my Twitter feed. That's the first thing I thought. See, he's always on my Twitter feed for some reason. All his videos come up. I was like, what? Yeah, it was like that. Was it HSBC or some banking thing where he had this thing on? It's ridiculous.
What it looks like is he's just seen someone to the left of the Guardian and he's sneering at him like they're filth.
Oh god, this is just. Oh god, Snake. Okay.
Snape? You said Snape.
Snape? What?
Yeah,
Severus Snape.
Yes, Snape was in Severus. Yeah, I thought
Mr. Blair. 10 points from label, Mr. Blair.
Oh my god. No.
Yeah.
Imagine, no, you know what? You just reminded me of like if we could do like a little mad comedy sketch, it would be Harry Potter with our current fucking politicians.
The Liberal Democrats should not be out in corridors after hours.
Awesome.
Oh wow. So who do we have as a different character?
Corbin. You know, whatever. Sorry.
Who do we have as a different characters then?
Well,
Vince Cable would have to be there at some point as some kind of
what you'd do it, you'd have houses like you know, like you have Slytherin and shit. So the Slytherin would be definitely the Tories.
Yeah.
The fucking nice people would be like the Lib Dems, which. Well, in fact,
Lib Dems would be Hufflepuff.
Yeah, and then you'd have like fucking Labourers, like fucking dim other stupid cunts. You know, Harry Potter and his bunch.
What, Gryffindor?
Yeah, Gryffindor.
Yeah.
That'd be Harry Potter.
Yeah, and then what about Ravenclaw? We've got one missing.
They'd be the SNP, clearly.
Oh god. Yeah.
Tyrannical bastards. Yeah.
Yeah. So who'd be like Voldemort then? With Theresa May, wouldn't it?
No, you'd have Voldemort. You'd have them as the actual characters, but you'd have the parties as like they'd all be the corporatists, like Voldemort, or like the head of faculty would be like businesses and influencers.
Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, Rupert Murdoch would be Voldemort, for instance, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the parties just being a bunch of pussies, like kids, because they act like kids anyway. Yay! It's fucking summer recess.
Right, I'm gonna have to jump out for about 10 minutes. I'll be back in a little bit, guys.
Okay. All right.
Have fun.
Okay. So I've got my next one. Yeah. It's going. There we are.
Oh, you just had I thought you had them before.
Bert from Sesame Street.
Genocidal twat.
Yeah, wasn't there that picture of him with people making memes of him where he had the explosions in the background and he had like he was taking a selfie?
Oh no, that's an actual cover of a film that's actually being made.
Really?
Tory Chill.
It's called Tony Blair.
I think
it's called Tony Blair's Billions or something.
No, I've seen the film called George Galloway made. Was it the Killings of Tony Blair? Is it that one?
Yeah, but that was the cover where he's taking a selfie in front of Iraq oil things burning.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, oh, I didn't. Yeah,
it was the actual cover or the meme or whatever that was going on.
Yeah,
I just maintain that he looks like Bert from Sesame Street. I can't avoid it.
He is a fucking.
Have you noticed that Bert and Ernie sleep together? Like,
yeah, that's just
Sesame Street was so progressive.
Bert and Ernie are gay. Hello, Ernie. Hello,
Oh,
progressive on status quo.
Yeah, unless they're both transgender women, which would be even more confusing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I've got another one. Oh shit. Here we are. There we are.
Oh god.
I want to hit you. You're a man.
Yeah.
I'd fuck you after a few points.
Yeah. No. What? Was it? How can I make myself a victim? That's what I think.
Yeah.
No, I actually like it.
No,
I do. She's the shadow education secretary. You know why I like it? Because
no. That's Angela Rayner. That's Angela Rayner.
That is Angela Rayner.
No, that's Jess Phillips.
Yeah, Jess Phillips.
What?
No, it's
Sick,
not. That's
man.
Angela Rayner. Oh, it says Jess Phillips. Okay, my bad.
Angela Rayner with
alright,
ginger hair,
bitch.
you know.
Feminist. She's a feminist. So no. Fuck
Oh,
off.
Angela Rayner's are really good. Like,
Yeah,
nice girl.
Yeah,
Well,
But
to be fair, I am
Jess Phillips,
slightly pissed.
BFFs with fucking
JRM.
Jacob Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually I like it actually. Not the other one. Actually,
No.
I've got another one, Asim.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. I'll let you show.
I don't like that bird. You'll probably kill me because I said the word bird. Ah, you're not allowed to say that. You get arrested. Frankie bitch, isn't she?
Okay, when you're ready.
Is it? Oh,
Oh, I can see it. Is that Benjamin Netanyahu?
One more
I can't see
time.
because it's so small. Do us a favor, New Left. You need to click off yourself
Oh shit.
because we can only see your gob or blank space.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Just click where it says New Left in the Google Hangouts. Just click it once and it'll go away.
Okay. Is that better?
Okay.
Is that
can
better?
anyone see it? Or
No.
Oh,
It's
I can
him.
see it.
Winston Churchill.
I've got Harold Wilson on
No
here.
one can see it, dude. You need to unclick yourself, New Left.
No, what do you mean unclick? I mean,
Because no one else can see it, dude. Oh wait, shit. You know what? Problem. I've got you fucking clicked. God damn it.
Oh no, I haven't done anything.
Harold Wilson. Hey.
I got. It's nice getting high on Ted Heath's ashes.
Oh wow, that's
That's what it looks like. The man had a proper hate. He had a proper hate of him. Just
Yeah.
reminded me.
I know. I would. What is it? One word or something? Nice.
yeah.
That's what. I'm sorry. There's the guy who was on TV show. I think it was Channel 4. Some fat dude.
Yeah.
He used to smoke a pipe and he's go nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no, yeah. I've got another one. Oh shit. There we are.
Is there children there I can molest?
Yeah. I just thought.
How old is the boy?
Yeah. My thought was, how am I going to sell out the British to the Germans? You know.
How old is the boy?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he virgin yet?
Sell out.
Yeah, he's a paedophile.
Yeah, was it David Icke called him a paedophile Satanist?
Yeah, but I mean, if there's anyone that's going to make a bad claim,
yeah, that's
reliable sources, David Icke.
Yeah,
the actually parliamentary investigation into paedophilia called him a paedophile. Then they covered it up, and it just disappeared from the news.
Yeah, George, I've got this is your favorite politician, so yeah, this is your favorite one.
Oh, legend. One word, legend.
Legend, yeah.
Legend. Sorry, one word.
Yeah,
legend.
I'm gonna agree with Stizer. Just legend. Just sums up the man.
Yeah, I mean, he's been writing pretty much everything, so yeah. I really like Tony Benn, especially on the EU. I think most people think every Brexiteer is a racist, and they need to listen to Tony Benn, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, like I said to you before, there is a case for the left on the exit of the EU, but there was also a case for the Remain. You know, and I think that the left was woefully unrepresented.
Exactly.
In the
well, yeah, it was just the Boris versus Dave. So
that's not going to solve any problems. I think the problem is that we had the meeting of two immovable mountains. One was capitalism and neoliberalism, and the other one was basically people were fed up of the EU and banks and shit, and it just people were like, "Fuck it, we'd rather just burn our fucking shit and not be in the EU."
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. I mean, I like the idea of a united Europe, but I vehemently disagree with the whole point of let's just have a federal superstate. That's not what I've read in my history books as a kid. And no.
Well, the fact that the globalization has basically destroyed lives and families of so many people here.
Yeah. And that's the EU. The EU became the boogeyman. Like I said, I'm not anti-EU or anti-immigrant because I never voted for that shit. But I did vote to sack the people we elect. And they kept whining on since the 1980s. Oh, it's Europe's fault. It's Europe's fault. I'm like, well, okay. Yeah. Now it's not. Now it's your fucking problem. Deal with it. And if they don't want to, then we'll sack them.
I mean, that's why the Tories made us join. It was to basically, blame everyone else except them.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. Every time they sell off a piece of public-owned shit, it's better for them because they say, oh, it's business. It's the market that's doing it. But actually, it's not. It's not at all. It's just they're just avoiding responsibility for the shit that they should be doing, which is making sure shit works. And if you sell it to big business, they can go, well, it's business's fault, not mine. I'm just a politician. It's like, well, what the fuck do we pay you to actually fucking do? Other than pay us lip service, you twat.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the salary's like?
73 grand.
Yeah, and that's not
for what?
That's not counting expenses either.
Yeah, exactly. And what did he do? Fuck all. So
yeah.
The
House of Lords, for example, isn't it like there's people that call up a taxi, walk in, or £300? Yeah,
£300 a day for doing nothing. You can go to sleep there. That's like me telling you, hey, show up for work, and you're going, what's the job? Go to sleep. Yeah. You're like, are you taking the piss?
I would love to be a lord just to do that, That'd be brilliant.
Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? They should be all
what Tony Benn said? He did. Because obviously he was a peer, not of his own choice for a bit. And when he was a peer, he went to a doctor and got some of his blood taken out and put it in a little kind of cylinder thing. And he kept it for the rest of his life. And he said, now I've got some blue blood there. And if I'd carried on being a peer and actually gone to the Lords, then that would have been worth £300 a day.
Yeah,
as funny as it sounds, it just makes a mockery of democracy that we've got these unelected
mockery of democracy from the Scouts with the Nouse.
Well, I'm
just it's
a giant piss take on all of us. It's like, hey, like I'm pretty sure other people shit to contribute, but £200 a day? No, it's not.
I think it should be abolished. To be personally honest,
it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be abolished. It should be reformed. We should. What we should do is all the mayors that we elect in the regions, they should go into the House of Lords.
Yeah.
Or independents. We elect them as people, not to tell the House of Commons what to do.
Yeah.
But to just check on the laws. That's all. Because that's what the second chamber is there for, is to give the government a kick up the ass now and then. Right?
Yeah.
To say, well, this is a bit weird or whatever. And then I'd be fine with that. And they should.
I personally like the New Zealand system. In New Zealand, they just have one chamber, and it seems to work all right.
Well, we could have that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a second chamber. I think it's overpacked. 600 fucking lords is 600 too fucking many.
Yeah.
I think we could have like 10 at least, or 15. Don't need 600 of these fucking idiots, and then open it as a museum, and let people fucking go in there and go, "Oh, look, it looks fucking pretty" or whatever.
Yeah.
And then move them fucking somewhere fucking else.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense because why are we leaving an unelected institution, the EU, and then we have unelected lords?
Well, it's even worse with the EU, don't make, because it's completely backwards. At least, at least with our democracy, we have one.
Really?
Because the EU, the way the EU sets up, it's completely the opposite to our Magna Carta. The Commission sets the laws, Parliament votes on it. Whereas the other way around,
Parliament's just an up or down. Parliament can't actually cancel a previous law or amend a law or anything like that. It's basically like us saying that our civil servants should make the laws, and then
it's the House of Lords. It's not. Look, hold on. Let me explain it. The EU, the way it's set up, is the House of Lords is the House of Commons. The House of Commons is the Commission. which is the opposite way around to the way we do shit over here.
Mm.
So basically, the House of Lords is not represented by the people. They're not elected. They set the law, and then they send it to the EU Parliament, which would be our technical House of Lords, if you want to put it that way. And they amend it and then send it back to the second chamber, right? But it's the commission that makes the laws, and they just have to agree and fuck around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd say the commission's more like our civil service in a way, because they're elected in specific, well, not elected, appointed in specific areas as experts in that particular area.
Yeah.
And then they send so it's like us having the civil service making the laws and then just having Parliament yes or no, rather than being able to actually bring the laws themselves.
Yeah, well, either way you look at it, it's still fucked. Doesn't make any sense. Hence why I voted to leave.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Mm.
People can argue all day, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, same here. I'd like it for it to be reformed, but to do that, you have to rewrite all the treaties, which is impossible.
Yeah, because the 27 countries who've got their own vested interest.
Yeah, because all 27 countries have to vote on it, and most countries in the EU are right-leaning governments, so, you know.
Yeah. It's too big. The problem with the EU is it's too big. It's a big bureaucratic behemoth, and it's never been audited since its fucking conception.
Yeah,
where's all that money going?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it like Nigel Farage who always says the accounts haven't been checked in like 20 years or something ridiculous?
They've never been checked ever. That's the point. Like, where's all the money going? And people go, well, the EU's give us money. Yeah, our fucking money back to us.
Yeah, the so-called rebate.
Yeah, the rebates are money coming back to us.
It's not a so-called rebate. It's not a so-called rebate. It funded research and development in lots of places within the UK.
Money.
You know, such as science and, you know.
No, the government should be doing that. We shouldn't need to give it to some other fucking bureaucratic fucking bunch of idiots to skim it off. I mean,
you can listen or you can just talk over me. It doesn't matter to me, Sty.
Well, I'll just talk over you then.
All right, fine.
But the point is, they're skimming off the top. Is the fucking point? And it's
of course they did. Of course they did. I mean, of course there's going to be a cost to be part of this scene in club. When it comes to fishing rights, yes, of course, I think that you know, English people should be able to fish their waters and not have Spanish or Norwegian people fishing them, because, you know, we need to be able to fish them sustainably. When it comes to passports, they should be produced in our country. Totally, 100%.
Yeah, and the Tories off, didn't he? Because it's cheaper in France. It's like, I don't give a fuck if it's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Look how many people you just fucking made fucking broke.
Yeah.
Because what, you fucking chose a cheaper fucking version of the same fucking thing that we're gonna use. This is the point. They will sell anything as long as it's cheap. Because they're tight bastards.
But it's not. It's not actually. I actually have regulations, and this is a problem. This is a problem. Is that the European standards, which is the problem that we're actually looking at, the European standards, i.e. the European Court of Human Rights and the European rules of imports and exports. Some of them are actually quite good.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
And we need to adopt these. I mean, if you look at the import or export standards of the US, you know, I don't want to use chlorinated chicken, but I will look towards that.
Please do.
Why not? Yeah, I know, because it's a bullshit example, but
it's not true. It's a good example. I think it's chlorinated.
Like, nobody wants to see like tinned chlorinated chicken in this country. I mean, nobody does. So there is a reason why these regulations are laid out, you know, and if we want to be, if we want to trade with the EU, then we have to follow these regulations. Isn't it fair?
Yeah, that's true.
But what I will say is, now that we're reaching towards the exit and
the end of
the
night.
pigs, with this whole United States of Europe, I don't think that'll ever happen, right? Especially with the pigs of Europe are actually trying to extract themselves now. So. Especially with the Italy election, I mean they're completely fucking Eurosceptic. So yeah, I really don't see it. I really don't see this whole United States.
Yeah, but the problem is after the election, the EU basically said they literally said it's business as usual, which that's a bit arrogant. They don't know.
Because they are fucking arrogant. They're all fucking rich fucking weirdos. You don't fucking give a
fuck. Of course.
That's the problem. That's the problem in Europe and across the world at the moment.
In the same position, you've got all the power. To be fair, like, I know Sty doesn't agree with me on this, but we are just a lowly island in the middle of the North Sea. We are not Great Britain anymore. We are Britain, and we are struggling to keep ourselves together right now. If in 5 years' time we still have 4 nations, I'll be very, very surprised.
Yeah, especially with the whole island issue, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is. It is a big issue.
But my problem with supporting the whole independence thing with the movements, a lot of them are pro-EU, which makes absolutely no sense. How can you be pro-independence and pro-EU?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is the thing. And the other thing that really does my head in is like we're talking about the Good Friday Agreement. How, like, the Good Friday Agreement is on thin ice ever since the Tories decided to make a deal with the DUP.
Yeah.
And so the Good Friday Agreement altogether, from the moment we go, is on precarious grounds, really.
Yeah, but wasn't the whole agreement to basically say we're going to be like impartial, and then they sided with the DUP?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
But I think at the moment now, we've kind of come to a point where, because under the Good Friday Agreement, there's a mechanism by which you can trigger a border poll. I think that now, with such huge implications for the North of Ireland after the referendum, I think it's now the right time to go for a border poll and see what the people in the 6 counties think now about their status, because now there's been a clear change of their constitutional status.
No,
they're at risk.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes, exactly right.
No, I'm sorry. Right. No, Northern Ireland is territory of England. You need to understand the constitution, pal.
Well, I understand it pretty well, especially Ireland. What did I get wrong? What did I get wrong?
What's wrong is that you honestly think that Northern Ireland... Hold on. You're honestly thinking that the Northern Ireland's going to vote?
Yeah, they vote quite a lot, but the actual thing is that because, firstly, the Catholics have such a huge birth rate compared to the Protestants, they've been catching up year on year on year in terms of their size, and it's very close now. And so it's close anyway, and there's a lot of unionists now that are going, well, because of Brexit, because of the turmoil that's been created for Northern Ireland, a lot of people that were Alliance voters or Ulster Unionist voters are now thinking, if worst came to worst,
do you know what would happen if they lost? Do you know what would happen if they left the UK?
What do you think would happen?
That would be the stupidest fucking idea ever. Who's going to print their money?
They'd be part of the Euro.
They'll probably join.
No. one. That's how, you know what? I fucking hate people who are so simplistic. You can just join the fucking euro. You can't just join the fucking euro.
No, because they'd be joining the Republic of Ireland.
No, they
Yeah,
wouldn't.
exactly.
They
They're just
wouldn't
trying.
because of the
I
Good Friday
don't
Agreement.
understand why you being so retarded on
Because
this.
no, you're fucking retarded. I'm sick of talking to people who don't know their ass from their fucking elbow in these fucking rooms. You are literally complacent. I don't know how fucking old you are. 12, maybe? First of all, let me correct you on one thing. Northern Ireland is a territory of England, right? Wales is a fucking part of fucking England, right? Wales ain't the same thing as Scotland. No, shut up, boy.
No, it's the United Kingdom.
No, shut up, boy. And how do you think you got the United Kingdom, you fucking idiot?
It's the United Kingdom of
No,
Great
how
Britain
did you get the United Kingdom?
The Act of Union 1707.
And does that have anything to do with Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland? Yes or fucking no?
Yeah, Act of
No,
Union
it
was bringing
doesn't. It
Scotland
actually
in.
fucking doesn't.
Yes,
No,
it was.
doesn't.
1707.
No, it doesn't. It's got to do with the fucking who sat on the throne, you tit. Now, let's go for the future. What did we sign in the fucking Good Friday Agreement, you fucking idiot? Ireland signed over the rights, you fucking scummy little cunt. They signed over the rights.
Order. It's my room.
I'm done with you, fucking idiot cunt. You clearly don't know your history.
They
You clearly don't know
a lot
politics.
of cross-border bodies, a lot of cross-border cooperation to help bring people
Oh, it's gone.
together. But
Oh shit. Well, I didn't kick him out. He just left.
Yeah.
Oh god.
facts are offensive in that case. But...
What I was going to say, I mean, when it comes to the Northern Ireland Agreement, I mean, it was very, very much compromised when the Conservative made the deal with the DUP, and I thought that was so dodgy. And I honestly, when they did that, I was shitting myself.
Because Jerry Adams and Mary Lou McDonald and
totally.
Michelle O'Neill came to Westminster, didn't they?
Yeah. It scared the shit out of me. I was really hoping that Sinn Féin might actually take up their place in Parliament.
Yeah, it's something we all hope for.
Yeah, but what I've never understood is why don't they take their place? I've never understood that.
Because they have an ideological thing that we absolutely have no control over their land, because they see the mechanism by which Ireland was split, where the Free State and Ulster, even though it wasn't fully Ulster, were created, as fundamentally wrong. And so they refuse to recognise British authority. It's not just that they want a united Ireland, they refuse to recognise that Britain has authority. That doesn't really make sense anymore, because they sign up to the Northern Ireland Assembly and because they sign up to the Police Service of Northern Ireland now under the St Andrews Agreement. So it's a bit of a strange thing now.
To be fair, if I was a unionist, I could completely understand it, right? Like if I was a unionist, but I'm not, right? And I totally think that Northern Ireland should be a part of the UK. But the fact that the UK, due to the Good Friday Agreement, which is what, 20 years old today?
Yeah.
Is very integral part of how we've kept peace, and it's a tenuous peace link that we've got, right? And this deal with the DUP that the Conservatives had is basically a huge kick in the balls to the unionists, and I'd be fucking really pissed off if I was a unionist. You know,
well, yeah, it's got not
even down to the fact. Sorry, let me say no. This is reserved from the fact that I'm a socialist, like like separate from that fact. I want to make that clear. But go on, George. I'm sorry. Mate.
Oh, it's all right. But with the question of Sinn Féin, because I think it's because there's a difference between them and like the SDLP, because the SDLP want the United Ireland, or have always wanted it through peaceful democratic means, and have always said that partition, although some of them agree, some of them disagree with the original partition, they've always now accepted that they have to win a majority amongst the 6 counties. But Sinn Féin have always said, no, it's an artificial border. It's not even the Ulster border. So we refuse to acknowledge the British Parliament as having any say at all.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I mean, the whole thing about Westminster is it's supposed to be neutral. You know, it's supposed to be Captain Switzerland in the whole thing. You know.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Burning.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So yeah, George, I'm new to this whole island thing. So can you just give us a quick rundown of how this whole, was it this 1921 agreement they had or something about?
Yeah, basically.
How did that work?
Because they'd had a civil war. Well, they had a civil war afterwards. They had a war of independence, so to say, because they had the first election after World War One.
Yeah.
Sinn Féin won a massive majority of seats in Ireland, because obviously then the whole of Ireland was part of the UK, and then Sinn Féin won nearly all the seats, 75 out of 108, I think. And so then they said that's a mandate for the whole of Ireland to leave the UK. But most of the seats in what we now call Northern Ireland voted for unionist parties. And so they ended up making a split once we came to an agreement. And so then it meant that the 6 counties out of the 32 original counties stayed part of the UK. The other 26 became a free state.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. So when did they join? I don't know this, but when did the 6 states actually become part of the UK?
Well, all 32 counties in Ireland used to be part of the UK.
Oh, okay.
But they all wanted at least home rule, a lot of them, especially in the south, and most of them wanted independence.
Mm-hmm.
But the vast majority of people in Ulster, which is the northeast, wanted to remain part of the UK because they were more Protestant.
Oh, okay.
But most of the rest of Ireland's Catholic. And so then they ended up doing a deal between Eamon de Valera, who was the first Taoiseach, and who was the leader of the first IRA, and David Lloyd George, who was the Prime Minister, to split Ireland.
Well, there are terrorist groups on both sides. I think to Sinn Féin was a political arm of the IRA, and there were terrorist groups on the unionist side as well.
Yeah.
And it turns out that there were leaks on the Conservative side.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a Tory councillor who was like IRA or something?
No. It was on
Maria Gatland.
It was something really, really fucking weird.
Yeah.
What's her face? That's leader of the DUP now.
Eileen
She was given. Sorry, Eileen Foster.
Yeah.
She was given secrets to i.e.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was given secrets to the Unionist terrorist group. There are terrorist groups on both sides. So to say that it was all separatists that was causing bloodshed, I think is a blatant lie. But.
Yeah, in 1910 there was originally part of a deal where they were actually going to give up the whole of Ireland, but then there was a unionist terrorist group that said that they would basically stop it happening with violence if it happened, and so they had to come to some sort of compromise.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's a complicated situation though, that you need to be a bit of a geek about it, like I am, to actually want to bother to read up on how much they care about the Battle of the Boyne and all the rest of it.
Like Bloody Sunday was like, what was that, 1979 or something? And
72.
72. That's a really brutal day of, and it's a really sorry state of British Unionist, how we dealt with a peaceful demonstration, open like our own military opening fire on these poor civilians. It was really, wow. If you look at it, it's really horrible. Like Bloody Sunday is nasty.
Yeah, nasty. They killed 14 people, but 6 of them were actually under 18 as well, which I know it shouldn't make it loads worse, but wow. And they were all 17. But these were young kids that were just on a march to oppose internment without trial. Because what we were doing was people that we thought might be terrorists on both sides, but mainly Irish Republicans, were getting arrested and just put in jail without a trial because we thought they might be terrorists. So the march on that day was opposing that and fighting for civil rights for the Catholic minority. And the army just decided to shoot on peaceful protesters. So that's another part of the strange history, resentment, things like that. And that's why. And so,
well, it really didn't help things, did it? I mean, Bloody Sunday was a real fucking spanner in the works, wasn't it? Yeah. Especially when it came to people like Jeremy Corbyn, like, oh, you're friends with the IRA. Well, no, he spoke to people that wanted a political or a democratic, ideas on how they can end the misery, and there was proper misery in those times. George, can I ask you, what's your Twitter?
At George Hayes 3264.
At George Hayes. Let me see.
Yeah, because wasn't it the whole, they call Jeremy Corbyn a IRA supporting was a terrorist sympathizer because he condemned violence on both sides, not just the IRA side?
I think it was more because he thought, firstly, there were people that got accused of being IRA terrorists because there was a bombing in a pub in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
And there were people that got falsely accused.
Yeah.
And
wasn't that
he
74?
Fought for them.
Wasn't that 74, right?
I don't know the date of it. Was
74, yeah.
It was a long time ago. It wasn't long after Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, I think it was 74, yeah.
But a lot of people say about Bloody Sunday that it was the best recruiting tool the IRA could have had, because before that, most people were into peaceful constitutional politics.
Yeah.
But the younger people whose friends might have been some of the ones that got shot, it was suddenly an easy way to go, look, the British are against you, when the whole reason that the army were there in the first place was actually to protect the Catholics from Protestant mobs. Because
because
the Irish government actually had plans to intervene if the British government didn't, to protect the Catholics, because the Protestant government at the time, led by people sympathetic to people like Ian Paisley and things like that, were just deliberately discriminatory against the Catholic population. And then that got worse and worse. And then once Catholics started fighting back, there was retaliation. And so if the British government hadn't sent their troops in, the Irish government were going to, because there was just no way of them coming to a peaceful solution without having some sort of defence for these people, because the Catholics were an oppressed minority, and that just gave the IRA more fuel to recruit people.
Oh wow! So
is it George Hayes #PC?
PB.
Yeah.
PB.
Yes. Asim's hashtag that he started.
Pro Corbyn, pro Brexit.
Yeah. You're a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, it's a shocker today.
Don't tell me the result. I am blue is the colour, football is the game. Yeah, I'm Chelsea through and through, born and bred.
Good on you.
I don't.
I
Yeah,
won't.
yeah, totally. I don't want to know because I'm gonna download and watch Match of the Day tomorrow or something.
All right, I'll keep it quiet.
I've done really, really, really well, and not actually looking at the scores. But yeah, you're doing really well. Go on, carry on. Sorry to. Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah, what I was going to say was, what are the freedom of movement rules between Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, not including the EU ones, as in the 1921 agreement? What are those rules?
Well, originally there wasn't that much in terms of stuff about it, but eventually there was the Common Travel Area,
Yeah.
which meant that we had freedom of movement with them anyway. And a lot of people like Daniel Hannan and people like that say, oh, well, we had the Common Travel Area anyway. But it's a bit different now because Ireland's subject to freedom of movement
within
with
the
rest
EU,
of Europe.
and because the whole thing with that is they have EU passports, they have Irish passports, they can come here, isn't it?
Technically, yeah, because they have freedom of movement to the Republic, so they can move from the classic examples, Poland to Dublin, and then they could easily move into Northern Ireland and then easily get here, unless we put some sort of barrier somewhere, and that's where the problems come with the Irish border.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
so. What do you all think should happen? I know George is United Ireland. What about you, Chamchi? What do you think?
I think if there's, I think it should be taken to the people of Ireland.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like it needs what I want as a socialist through and through. I really want the people of Ireland to have a say. You know, it could be for us to say, oh yes, we're gonna create. Well, we can't create a border anywhere, really. I mean, this is where the issue fucking is stemmed. Is just talk to Northern Ireland and say, look, do you want a united Ireland? I think that's the question we need to be asking.
Yeah,
Look,
that's all I want to do. I mean, my personal sympathies with Ireland being united and people they want that through democratic means, like people in the SDLP, like John Hume and people like that, is there. But mainly, I just want them to have their self-determination to choose.
I mean, that was one of the biggest reasons for leaving. It was the whole thing about determining your own destiny, wasn't it? Leaving the EU.
So then for some people on the Leave side, which is on the same side as me, then saying, oh, well, the Good Friday Agreement's outlived its lifetime or whatever. No, that's a horrible and disgusting remark to make, considering that 90-odd% of the Republic voted for it and 70-odd% of the North voted for it. So you can't then say, oh, well, we've decided that it's null and void. No, it's only for the people of Ireland, North and South, to decide that it's null and void. People like Owen Paterson.
George, how old are you, out of interest?
17.
So you don't. Well, you weren't there for the actual troubles.
No.
Well, I'm 30 something.
It's never good when you have to make a guess, is it?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, it was very, very troubling during the time. And no one wants to return to that shit.
Yeah,
honestly,
absolutely.
mate.
Because you had violence going on in Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and even parts of the UK as well. So, yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't just parts of the UK. It seemed like every week there was a bomb going off in Europe. I mean, it really got. I'm from the same or a similar constituency as Angels, and we have bombs going off very, very close to us. You know, and these were people. Or these were places that we would frequent to go shopping or, you know, whatever.
So which part of the UK were you from before you moved to
Southeast?
Southeast. Okay. So is that like where people like, yeah, that sort of end? That's interesting. That's yeah, because
yeah, because one of their main bombings was Canary Wharf. I don't know if that's the one Champsy's talking about.
Canary Wharf. It would be Canary Wharf. Also, King's Cross seemed to be a favourite of their targets. Also Guildford, Weybridge, all sorts of places, and it was horrible at the time, really. But we just lived. It just seemed to be we were just a country at war, you know, and in reflection, and my what I think now is that my left wing ideas is that, you know, this is always being wrong. Okay, why can we have sorted this out before? Right, quite similar to what Jeremy Corbyn says. He's just like, come on, like let's have some diplomacy here, you know.
Yeah, I don't think either side was ready for it. I think it was an Erskine that really made the IRA realise that they'd gone too far and that the atrocities were too bad. And that's when Adams started reaching out to John Hume and the British government secretly more.
There are two issues that I can't square in my head, right? The first one is, why would, well, obviously the Conservative Party don't give a fuck about the Good Friday Agreement because they made the agreement with the DUP, right? And the other thing is, why would David Cameron, do this whole Brexit thing without getting his war game on? You know, he didn't anticipate the fact that he would lose this.
No, because he was so full of himself during the referendum, and he told us all these fear things. If you vote to leave, this will happen. But yeah,
the one fear thing he didn't tell us was the Irish border, and that's something that should have been addressed in the referendum, and no one talked about it. And then it's actually happened, and they've gone, "Oh, yeah, this is a really bad problem."
This is. Yeah. I mean, in the meantime, like I say, the whole Conservative DUP deal is really not helping the entire issue either.
Because it's not even a deal; it's a bribe, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. Basically, it's a bung. That's what they're calling it. It's a bung.
Yeah, that's sort of his Jonathan Pye's video. He said a bung parliament.
Well, no, that's when Jonathan Pye says it's actually true. It's what it's called politically, you know, because it's what is it? It's like you vote on the issues that you want to, so it's supply and whatever.
Confidence and supply.
Confidence, yes, supply and confidence. Yeah, so it's a bung. So what was it? 100 million pounds per MP.
Yeah,
that's a good fucking deal.
Yeah.
Where's the magic money tree?
Well, yeah. well, they chopped off a branch and gave it to Northern Ireland.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Tories have their magic money tree in their back garden, and they just do what they please with it. You know, that's what it is. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. And what was it, Labour who said we're gonna like try and force a vote on this extra money that they're gonna get, isn't
it? Which one? Sorry, one more time.
Sorry, I can't remember. I heard something about MPs like forcing a vote on it to like the next. There's 1.5 billion, and there's like the next instalment of it, like the final bit.
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
so I can't comment.
So. It's just, but yeah. Well, I remember all the theories after the election everyone was literally saying Theresa May will go, and what did she do? She just decided to save herself. You know.
Well, I think the problem is that because of Brexit, is that nobody wants to take over because they want to use Theresa May as a body shield, a bullet sponge, and because it's a poison chalice, nobody wants to be prime minister now, which is weird. You know, usually I mean, in the run up, you had loads of people wanting to, even though she got the position by default, so she has no mandate. She even after the election, she's even got lesser mandate than she had before.
But I remember her whole thing was it if I lose just 6 seats, it'll be Jeremy Corbyn negotiating with the EU, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
it's just but she says all these things. Give me a stronger mandate, but it's
this I think was down to how awesome the Labour Party's the way that they played the election period and the way that they laid out their manifesto. I thought this was brilliant to them. Credit to them, kudos to them, because they said because Theresa May said, I want this to be an election based on Brexit, and I want you to give me the mandate to go out and do what I need to do for Brexit. Whereas Jeremy Corbyn said, nah, bollocks. This is not just about Brexit. What we need to be talking about is domestic issues.
Yeah, the real issues,
Yeah, and this is where they were really proactive and forced the Conservative Party to be reactive, and that's the first time they've done that.
And then it really fell apart after the dementia tax thing, wasn't it?
Sorry, mate. One more time.
Sorry. I said it really fell apart for the Tories when it came to the dementia tax announcement.
Oh yeah. The only party to U-turn on a policy like during an election period. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The shittiest fucking. They didn't have any policies. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's just the Tory policies. They're not for the people, but people are still going to fall for all their rhetoric and that sort of thing. And the Tories always use the line either Labour crash the economy or they're going to tax you to death, isn't it? That's the two main things they use. So
yes,
and
they know their stuff, and they know full well that a problem with the international economy and various other things, Wall Street problems, things like that, caused the crash, and then the deficit followed. But that doesn't make good politics. So, but I think the key thing in the election campaign was because when the Manchester attack happened, everyone thought, and the Tories tried to capitalise on it with he's soft on terror, things like that.
Yeah.
But Labour played that in a dignified way, but also pushing attention onto cuts to the police.
Oh yeah,
things like that.
Cuts to 20,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was an incredibly well played thing. Looking back at it from an election point.
In the right wing press, a lot of them were saying, "Well, you're politicizing politicizing this terrorist attack," and it's just like even months after, say, Grenfell, right? On Question Time, you had what's her face from the Canary, and she was sitting there
Kerry-Ann Mendoza.
Yes, that'll be her, and she was sitting there like saying, "Look, you got to understand what happened to it was a political decision to wrap social housing in flammable awning or whatever you want to call it." And you had Nick Ferrari on the opposite side going, "You shouldn't politicize this. This was a tragedy." Which is like, yes, of course it was, but how else? You're just saying this just because you don't want to answer questions that you don't want to answer. This is
the Tory party's whole thing is politicizing just about anything they can get their hands on. So
whataboutery, fucking whataboutery. It does my nuts in.
Yeah. Because this show's called the Sunday Roast, if you want to roast the Tories and just say what the hell you want on your mind, just go for it.
Oh, fucking whataboutery. That does my head in every fucking single time. Oh, yeah, we've got more doctors, we've got more nurses, well, no, apparently not. Yeah, because the figures say we have, 4,000 less nurses than we did.
Yeah.
We can't hit our targets when it comes to waiting times.
Yeah.
We can't even do like
didn't they have to cancel all those operations? Didn't they have to cancel
operations? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like, I don't know, how can they say they have more people in the NHS when there's more people leaving than joining? It's ridiculous.
I read something quite recently that if you dialed 999 and asked for a police service,
yeah,
they said it takes up to 3 days for a response.
Oh my god! Because imagine
I thought that was quite weird. Quite weird.
What? Because imagine, I mean, that's the whole point of 999. Say if there's something serious going on, you can't wait 3 days because everyone will be dead by then. It's ridiculous. God, let's have a look at this. This is madness. But yeah, if you find it, just share it.
Yeah, I will do. Police response. This was a. I'm sure it's in the Guardian. I only read the Guardian. I'm sorry. I'm such
liberal elite.
Fucking
middle class metropolitan elite. Ugh.
Sorry, I try. I mean, like, this is. Okay, here we go. Oh, I can't find it. I can't be asked, man. I'm a bit drunk, so I can't find it.
That's right, but it's just.
Dude, to be fair, like, it's like, what day is it today? Oh yeah, Sunday.
Sunday.
It's Monday. It's Monday morning, right? And it's nearly 4:30 in the morning. So,
for you,
am I allowed to be a bit messy?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Completely understandable.
Yeah. So, like I did read it. I just can't remember where I read it.
So, how far ahead are you from us in the time zone?
8 hours.
Oh my god! Wow, that's like a whole. That's how much I sleep every night. 8 hours. Wow. It's ridiculous.
That's how much I wish I slept every night.
Really? What time do you get to bed and wake up?
Well, I usually try and go to bed at kind of 10:30, 11, something like that. But some of the time I just end up still awake until nearly midnight, and then I've got to wake up at 6:15. So.
Oh wow!
Why do you have to wake up at 6:15?
Cool.
Yeah, I've got to have shower, get ready and stuff, and my bus is at 7:15. So.
Wow.
Where does the bus take you?
To college.
Yeah,
and what do you do at college?
A levels.
I do politics, history, and economics.
Well, I could never do that. I'm more of a sciencey guy, so I tried history at AS level for year 12, and I just couldn't do it. That's the one that I nearly failed. Yeah.
Do you study the people's history books with your history? Do you read the Howard Zinn People's History of the US?
No, because our course is Britain 51 to 2007 and Russia under the final 3 Tsars all the way up to Khrushchev.
Okay, so have you read the People's History of the Russian Revolution?
No.
I really recommend it. It's really, really, really good. Because under like it's one of the only revolutions that basically had 0 bloodshed. I think during the entire Russian Revolution there was like what, 6 people killed, I think.
I know that the February Revolution was pretty much just a peaceful kind of takeover of power from the Tsar to the new provisional government.
Yeah. The October.
October was a bit more
October
with Lenin.
Yes.
Oh yeah, was that Red October, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because I see all those. What was it called on the was it June 8th shit posting memes? And they always have this Red October meme with like Corbyn and like red eyes and stuff. It's really funny.
It doesn't even surprise me. They come up with it every single opportunity. They come up with
this the other thing, like, Charles, you're a Trotsky entryist and you're an anti-Semite, but
yeah, but they're pro Corbyn. They're pro Corbyn. It's a joke. Yeah,
Trotsky. Trotsky is if you want to have a revolution, fucking read Trotsky. Don't get me wrong. I think he's fucking brilliant. Honestly, I think everybody should read Trotsky, right?
Yeah.
He is really, really good. And if you want to have a peaceful revolution, but I think this is where I differ from G. Whistler and old school anarchists, with the anarchism stuff. This is where I differ. Is like, I think we can do this, or we're trying to do this evolutionary. So that means going through government, and it's a lot slower. But I think we can do it. Well, I hope we can do it. Channels like what you've got here, the New Left Voice, and JJ on
Hey Up, Let's Talk.
Hey Up, Let's Talk. Yeah, exactly. These are the channels that
Yeah,
these are the things that people can start to educate themselves and start to think
because
about.
The 2 very first politics channels I started watching when I got into politics. I talked to you about this, I think, and started a stream after the EU referendum, where Captain Switzerland and AF Let's Talk, and I haven't gone back to any of this since, to be honest. So it's just really fascinating, because the stuff that Swiss talks about and JJ talks about, you tell it's legit. It's from their heart. They don't spin it, do they? That's what I like about them. They tell it as how it is.
Yeah, and I know what happened. I'm sorry to bring it back to Camp Darkula, but I have to give it parallels, right? And the problem is, because of the precedence that was set with Count Darkula, it has very, very dangerous connotations and how it can be used, right? I mean, what he did, yes, it was a joke, and I personally, I saw the video and I didn't find it funny. People did find it funny.
I find it funny.
Fair enough. If you did find it funny, I don't judge you for that, right? But what I worry about is the precedence that it sets, because it then gives the government like so much control over the internet, and there's so much control.
Yeah, because that's what the Tories are pushing for, starting with the whole Snoopers chart thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
the fact that they don't, I think that of course they do already, and especially what come out with Cambridge Analytica and stuff like that. Of course, they already do have control, but you should be more careful. I don't know.
Yeah, because after the whole terror attacks thing, wasn't it that Theresa May said she's basically going to police the internet and solve it? That was her method.
Oh, by the way, Asim, you're supposed to be doing the chat if there's anybody in the chat.
Oh shit! Sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, we've been too busy
This is
talking.
your channel.
We've been too busy.
George,
take back control. Yeah. Take back control of our chat. Yeah. Okay. They're just chatting. they haven't really asked any questions, but they're just chatting to each other. It's like Cameron Hickman and Craig Brexit and Shafted and a few.
We love you, Cameron.
Cameron's awesome. I agree.
Yeah, I really like him. Yeah. Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, Shafted.
Everybody loves Cameron.
Shafted said, in theory, if the Royals didn't exist, we should all prosper. Yeah.
Well, kind of the Royals is an interesting question, like because as I think they should pay tax, which is the first thing. The other thing is they should only spend, when it comes to wealth or weddings or whatever, the money that they get through tourism. You know, because that's the only reason we have.
Yeah, but I've heard that the arguments that the Republicans make, they say that France has, like, was it the Palace of Versailles, and there's no royal family there, and they get more tourism than we do. I think that's one of the main arguments they use.
Yeah, that's because the weather's better.
That's true. I mean, I was walking home on a Friday, took the bus home, and my hands were freezing by the time I got home, thanks for the rain. It's horrible. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it's true, but France is the whole touristy destination. I mean, I don't know, what is there to do here in the UK apart from like the museums, really? Let's be honest.
The Stonehenge, right? Give it a shout out.
Let me like as an outsider, right? Piccadilly Circus, Brick Lane, Oxford Street, Regent Street, any and all pubs, the food. There's loads to do.
Oh yeah,
London. Honestly,
yeah,
as
London.
An outsider coming to England, London is possibly one of the greatest cities that I've ever visited.
Yeah.
It's up there with maybe Barcelona. Barcelona is really cool as well, but it depends on what you want to get into. If you want to rave, then definitely London. Osaka would be up there as well. Osaka's a crazy fucking city, like really fucking crazy. But it's Japan, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been to. What's your experience in Japan? Because I've never been there. I want to go, but
I've been to Kyoto and Japan.
Yeah.
And they're two very, very different cities but very close in the same country. But yeah, Japan rocks.
Wow, I really want to go there. I'm a big fan of the food, so they have loads of sushi restaurants in Birmingham, so I like going to those. So yeah, I love the food there. But if Japan, it just looks way more high tech than here. It's mad, honestly.
Very expensive. So if you want to go, I've also been to what's the North Island? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I went to the North Island snowboarding last year.
Wow.
So that was quite cool. Yeah, it's just very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But you've got pounds. Like generally, a pound kind of, it's about the same. You know, if you go to, say, if you went to Portugal, right, your pound would take you a lot further than anything else, right?
Yeah.
So your pound to euro is generally quite good.
Yeah, it's $1.14 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's not
really
just it's not just Brexit. The euros has gone up like $1.23 now.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, the better places, the cheaper places to visit are the Asian countries because their currencies are really weak, aren't they?
Some of them, yeah. So you can go to places like Thailand or Malaysia or all of these. I've visited these places.
Yeah. What are they like? What would you recommend doing there?
Vietnam is really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just remember the Top Gear Vietnam special all those years ago. That's brilliant.
the Springsteen bike, I remember.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know where they had the shoebox full of money.
yeah.
It's essentially like that. It's crazy. Like the money is crazy. Like $1 is like 3 inches worth of like currency when you go there, and you're just like, yeah, I'll have that. Yeah, it's madness. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I went to India in 2016 to visit family, and some of the places there were brilliant. But
oh shit! Something I need to tell you. Like, you guys are all on the left, right?
Yeah.
So, do you know? Well, you must know a little bit about the Vietnam War, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know about Ho Chi Minh and how he pushed his way down towards Saigon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this after 1975, right? That after?
It was 1975 that he actually pushed his way down.
Yeah,
right?
that's when America withdrew. Was it Operation Baby Lift or something, and then they went down.
Operation Paperclip or
Baby Lift, I think that's what it was called. Because when they withdrew like South Korean people, and they went to America because they had a big one at the end. But anyway, what were you saying? Sorry.
Well, anyway, like when you go and you go to places like Saigon, Ho Chi Minh or Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi or whatever, then you can feel the influence of the communist influence, and it's really kind of cool to be like a left winger and kind of you really do feel like it's your spiritual home. You know, it's kind of nice, and I really love like the communist propaganda like pictures. And you can talk to the locals about communism, and they say, yeah, we love communism, but we hate the how communism has been diluted, and it's been in the West is we really hate the capitalist West and how they dilute our communism with their capitalist ideas. And if you talk to the locals, that's the kind of idea that you get. And they people do paintings for you. And it's only like $2-3. You give them $2-3, and they'll do like a print for you, which is like it will be. I've got 5 of them myself. It will be we stand in friends with Cuba, or we stand in friends with Venezuela, or whatever. And it's really cool.
You should do that, and then like email it to a Tory or something. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, sounds amazing. I mean, but yeah, it's like all the socialist countries. But I mean, I like the right wing argument is where the left say it's not proper socialism, and they say it is. But let's be honest, you can't really get proper socialism because of all the capitalist stuff. And people say, for example, like how people still say that China's communist, but isn't it state-controlled capitalism?
Well, this is the argument. I think Marx had this argument, and this is the single state, or at least Lenin and Trotsky again had this same argument. Is the impossibility of a single state socialist country, right? Is that you can't have a single state. You must be capitalist to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right. And Marx actually said that you've got to push capitalism further. So, I mean, Marx was a guy that was beyond his times, right? It's only now we're starting to actually think about Marx again, 150 years later, and he's now becoming more relevant because of how capitalism has been pushed on. And it was called the acceleration theory, and the idea is that he will push it on towards automation, and that then we'd have the automated luxury capitalist society or whatever, you know. George, you're being very, very quiet.
Oh, I'm just listening to you.
It's really fascinating. Yeah.
We didn't get that much on the stream today listening to other people, but so we're getting a bit of it now.
So yeah, what were you saying?
Dude, don't listen to me. I just talk shit, man.
No, it's really fascinating.
Fucking sit here and talk shit fucking forever.
Yeah, but this is the whole point of the stream, really, to talk shit. But yeah, what were you saying? Was it automated capitalism? You got to that point?
No, automated communism, automated communist luxury automation or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
because
there is apparently a goal, but it doesn't work.
Because Aaron Bastani wrote a book. Was it Automated Luxury Communism? I think it was called.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, Aaron Bastani. That guy, I really have a lot of respect for. And the guy has a PhD in left wing politics and economics.
Yeah.
He's got a PPE.
Yeah, politics, philosophy, and economics degree. Yeah.
And he's got a PhD in that shit.
Wow.
That guy's really, really smart. He founded Novara Media. Yeah. I know him, and I do listen to him a little bit.
Yeah.
If I was to point you into a direction, I would say look at Richard D. Wolff with 2 F's.
Okay.
He's a Marxist economist. He's really, really good. And he talks about cooperatives, and how cooperatives can work in society, and then breaking down the state, because nobody really wants the state, because then you end up with Stalinism. Nobody wants Stalinism.
Yeah, because that's what the right always use. That argument. If you're going to have communism or socialism, the state is going to take over everything. That's the main argument, isn't it?
Well, no, it's all about the people taking control of the means of production. But the problem is that if you look at any arguments from before, so like any time it's been tried before, we didn't have the technology, but now we have the technology to make it work. We have shit like solar paint, so you can paint the outside of your house, and that paint will power your house.
Yeah.
Right. Like how fucking concrete 3D printing, where you can build a house within 12 hours with a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And it can integrate the entire infrastructure. So it can integrate the plumbing and the communication wires and everything else. It can print those in it. Or you've got prefab, and you can prefabricate these houses.
And also I've seen houses in remote areas in America where it's all eco-based, and they use all the environment to do everything, and it's really clever.
Yeah, yeah, dude. There is. I mean, when you look at the problems in the world right now, what is it that's holding us back? And this is our attachment to currency, essentially.
Yeah.
And this is what the left wing argument is all about. And this is the same argument that's been going on for fucking years, decades, absolutely decades. And Tony Benn even said this as well. He said, like, you need to understand that liberties were never given, they were always taken, and they will only always be there as long as there are people to fight for them. You have to fight. And we are doing what we're doing now. Fighting.
That's what Bevan said, wasn't it? We weren't born with liberty, we had to go and win it.
Exactly right.
And now
on the one state thing, that was the main split between Trotsky and Stalin, wasn't it? It was the socialism in one country versus worldwide revolution. Because Stalin was very much one country communism is what he wanted.
Yeah. I don't think it was a split between Trotsky and I think it was a split between Lenin and Stalin, but I think you're right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then Trotsky took over the Lenin banner once Lenin died, but Stalin won control with all his little maneuvers he did.
If you look at geopolitics of the time, I don't blame Stalin for what he did. I think what he did was basically right, and essentially they were the major. I mean, they were the first people to put a man in space. I mean, so kind of been that bad. They also invented the everlasting light bulb and refrigerator. A refrigerator that can last like 100 years. You know, these are the things. You know, because because it was outside of capitalism. It was very, very different. It was a different world. Also, when you talk about Lenin and Trotsky really wanted it to be in 1918, 1919, 1920. He really wanted it to kick off a world revolution. Because he knew it would be very, very difficult to survive long term as a single state.
I mean, that's today. I mean, the closest you can get is really social democracy in the West, and that's what you've got in like the Nordic countries, isn't it? Because I was watching a video by Owen Jones. I think it's called "Socialism is Coming," and he showed like all the different like sort of social democratic countries now they have public ownership of like investment banks of energy and it was it like in Sweden, I think it was the tax rate there was 65% on the richest. And it's really fascinating stuff, but I mean, like you said, we have to do it within the confines of capitalism, and that's how far we've got so far in the West. It's really fascinating, but yeah, I mean, that's going back to Brexit again. I think that's one of the reasons why I want to leave, because the EU is just going to keep us from going further than that, to be honest. So,
I do agree with that. There was always a democratic deficit between the UK and the EU when it came to choosing their own rules. If it had been a Jeremy Corbyn government and he'd have said, okay, let's do a referendum, right? I think he would have done his war things. Okay, what happens if we leave? Like, let's prepare for it. Okay. I think he would have done that, right? He is a Eurosceptic himself, right?
Yeah.
So he
have you seen the videos of his brother where he was telling the reasons why to vote Leave. It was really fascinating stuff, and all the comments in that video were, "Why doesn't your brother vote to Leave?" But to be fair, I think he probably did vote to Leave. It was just he was hamstrung by the Blairites to campaign for a May.
Well, no, there was no argument from the left.
Exactly.
This was my entire one of my entire issues with how it was played out, and I think we discussed this during our Q&A. Is just there was no argument from the left, and there's I have a stream on my channel with Captain Swiss about we compare BBC to RT and the representation of the left in the mainstream media, and there basically isn't. It's like say you'd have Newsnight or any political channel or whatever, and they'd have someone like Yvette Cooper as representing the left, and it's just like, well, she's not on the left. Or Chukwuemeka, you're like, well, he's not a lefty, not really a lefty either, you know.
No, I mean,
but he's there to represent Labour or the left, and I think it's just wrong.
Yeah, because if you want someone from like real Labour, which it's turned back to, you want someone like Laura Pidcock or someone like that who's actually a proper lefty. Because you don't want the old school Blairites, because their ideas were like from the 90s. They weren't. There's not modern leftism as such. It was what the left was back in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah. On this, I remember seeing this thing, and it was someone did a thread of the guests on the Andrew Marr show and what their political leanings were.
Yeah.
And most of the shows they had like someone from the kind of UKIP right, someone from the kind of Anna Soubry right, and someone from Progress. All three of them going, yeah, we think Jeremy Corbyn's bad. And then they all nod and go, yeah, we think Jeremy Corbyn's bad too.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, I guess that's a majority opinion between a Blairite, a Tory, and an even worse Tory.
Yeah, so it's literally, so what you're saying is they only have people from centre right to far right, basically, that sort of range.
Pretty much.
Wow.
All right, so it's what you're basically talking about is the Overton window. Anything within the Overton window, right? Within the UK, which we have seen it's towards the right, just a little bit. If I look at the UK from the outsider's point of view, which I'm quite gifted and I do have the ability to do that. Yes, the UK is quite a right-wing country, to be honest, and it makes me quite sad because it's not a place I want to be proud of.
Yeah,
and it breaks my heart. I want to be like proud of a place that helps people, especially refugees, and especially in war zones that we fund the guns.
It was funny because the whole terrorism thing, I think it was after the terror attacks, and people are giving Jeremy Corbyn a right bashing for say we could have partially caused this for actually invading the countries in the first place, which he's right. That sort of thing.
The only mainstream media person that's actually acknowledged this is Peter Hitchens, which is really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of the issues, he actually agrees with Corbyn on a decent amount of stuff, like renationalization and Russia, the way that Corbyn handled Russia and foreign policy, and it's amazing. You might think these people, in your mind, you wouldn't disagree, but they agree on quite a lot of things.
Yeah, it is difficult. It is difficult, when you've only got Peter Hitchens, and
Daily Mail,
say, like this guy, this fucking guy, whatever his fucking name is. Here we go. This Zionist called hang on, it's written on my Robert Winston. Okay, really good guy actually. You know, he's a doctor, Dr. Robert Winston, PhD. Okay, he's life peer of the Labour cabinet. Okay, but because he's a Zionist, and he says he's a Zionist in his part on this week. I think this whole Palestinian thing really muddies his, and he brings up the whole tropes again. You know, oh, he's unelectable. How is he unelectable? I don't understand. Like, how is he unelectable? He's been the MP for North Islington North for the last 30 years. So that means he must have won how many elections? Also, he's won 2 leadership elections.
And he's
flat out,
not
even a little bit.
Yeah, and he's got more votes than Blair did in 2001 and 2005 as well.
Indeed. So how is he unelectable? And he's like, again, he's pulling out the same tropes, right? Is it? So when I did the conspiracy theory thing, and my last one was, is it a Zionist? Is there a Zionist ideal to unseat Jeremy Corbyn? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but it's just when I did research into that whole, that whole smear thing that happened recently, it just happened that pretty much everyone that started it was part of Labour Friends of Israel, and I just thought something's weird going on here, that sort of thing. So it's probably is like you were saying, to be fair, because I think pretty much everyone who started it was either LFI or CFI members. So yeah,
LFI, Labour Friends of LFI.
Labour Friends of Israel. And Conservatives had the same one, and it was interesting. Both Blair and Cameron were members of that as well, of their respective one, LFI and CFI.
I bet you they've got shares in the weapons companies that sell arms to Israel.
Yeah,
because they love their weapons, don't they?
Yeah, I mean that's why that's why you saw Blair and Cameron go to the Middle East. It's all about money, isn't it?
I tell you what, there's a really good documentary. It's called "We Love Gaza."
Oh,
and it's about Palestinians. It's about Palestinian parkour people.
Oh, cool.
And it's really good, and it's about all these teenagers, and they're doing like backflips, and in the background you can see like bombs going off and shit, and all through the Gaza Strip, they're just doing like loads of backflips and shit. It's really, really good, really. Guess who produced it?
I don't know.
RT.
Wow, Russian state propaganda. But I go to RT for a lot of my things because I hate to say it, but they have way better political coverage than the BBC do. Let's be honest.
Well, this is my problem with how we have media broadcast in the UK. Is the problem is that there is no one really that represents the left. The left is woefully represented in the UK. I mean, I watched this week and we had Aaron Bastani, but he wasn't really given the chance to express himself because they're too busy talking about anti-Semitism, and it's just like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, the only person I would say that represents the Labour Party well, ironically, is Jimmy Dore in America. He does some excellent stuff, but I mean, if you're going to America for your news media, then that just tells you how bad the UK news media is.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the Jimmy Dore shows, and he talks about Jeremy Corbyn. And yes, I agree with you. And it really is a sorry state of affairs when you get that. But yeah, I do love a bit of RT. The thing is, like, when you have your opinion shows, whether it be John Hartman or whatever, at least they give the left a proper representation.
Yeah.
You know?
Because
Not just like, apparently, oh right, okay, so we'll have Liz Kendall. Yeah, she can represent the left, who is not left at all. Like,
no,
she's
one
a
of the
Blairite bitch, horrid cow. Like,
yeah, well, it's a Sunday roast, you can say that.
I reckon if Harold Macmillan, who was a Tory Prime Minister, was around today, they'd call him far left.
You reckon?
Well, if you look at his, I mean, he opposed Thatcher's privatisations of a lot of industries at the time. He gave some, even though he didn't support the miners' strike, support, he called the miners the best men in the world and said that they were being treated unfairly. I mean, he didn't take on the unions like a lot of the people in the Tory party at the time wanted him to do. He built 300,000 council houses a year when he was Churchill's housing minister. So just a lot of his policies, you look at them now, that they'd be called far left now.
Even Tony Blair would be way more right wing than him, to be honest.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and it's
well, this is the thing, but from 1909 right up to 1978, England was essentially a socialist country because we had massive controls. We have massive tax levels. I think it was it like fucking 79%, 79p on the pound on the top rate of tax.
That's mad.
It was 83% under Wilson.
Oh wow.
Sorry, what?
It was 83% at one point under Harold Wilson.
There we go. The Wilson.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah, it was massive, you know. When people say, has there ever been a successful socialist country, you can say yes. England.
Wow.
1909 through to 1978.
Well, yeah,
it was essentially Thatcher that destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And then Blair carried it on. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He didn't rebuild anything.
Yeah.
So Thatcher created Blair.
Yeah.
And Blair created Cameron.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when people talk about Thatcher, they just talk about the policies though. But like, my dad was born in 1959, so he can remember like him growing up was the late 70s, winter of discontent, all the rest of it. And he said that Thatcher didn't just change the policies; that would have been normal. But my dad's not particularly ideological, but he said he changed the way people thought about each other. Because he said when he was 13, 14, he'd go that he'd see everyone else, and everyone would see everyone else as other people, that they were in the same kind of cause or struggle. But after Thatcher, they became
all in the same boat.
Yeah, after Thatcher, they became competitors. You're fighting against them, not with them.
Because if you want a socialist country, you need to have that mentality where we're all in together. Whereas the Tories, when Thatcher came around, it was all her free market neoliberalism, and she basically said, we got
that following the war. Yeah. After World War II, we got that kind of right. Never again. I think Tony Benn talked about how one of the major reasons people voted for Attlee's government in 1945 was they said never again are we going to have mass unemployment, everything that happened in the Depression, because the Depression brought about European fascism. It was unemployment that brought about Hitler. It wasn't because everyone's inherently anti-Semitic. It was because people needed an enemy.
Hitler was born out of austerity.
Yeah, he was born out of the Versailles Agreement and things like that.
The Treaty of Versailles, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Germany became flattened, and they had hyperinflation and everything like that, and that caused Hitler. And so a lot of people voted in 45, going never, never again. We've got to win the peace now as well. And so we had an opportunity, and it got taken to change society fundamentally.
Yeah, because he got a ridiculous landslide, didn't he? Was it like 393 seats or something ridiculous?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, why are people homeless? Like, why people can't see a doctor?
Because
why are people sick? Like, why like, I know we're skint, but we cannot like cut our way to progression. We need to build our country from the bottom up. And to be honest, Harold Wilson, oh mate, sorry, it makes me weep. Like, it really does. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. But then I was watching a documentary about I think it was the 1945 election, and Attlee, he actually had a conservative upbringing as well.
Yeah, when he retired, he got given the final hereditary peerage they ever gave out, and his grandson now is actually a Tory peer.
No!
Oh wow! Oh my god!
I didn't know that. Really?
Wow.
It might be either his grandson or his great grandson.
Oh my god! It's like the most left wing prime minister we've had, and now is relative to Tory. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah. John Attlee, the third Earl Attlee, is a British Conservative Party peer.
Oh my god, his
grandson of Clement Attlee.
I mean, his granddad would be rolling in his grave, wouldn't he?
Oh, shit, it's just like Hillary Benn.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
I saw this thing on Twitter and it said, "I'm never having any kids ever in case they go Hillary Benn on me."
I shouldn't laugh so hard at that.
Yeah. No, because
okay, I'm gonna have kids, nephews, nieces. Just don't go Hillary Benn. Do whatever the fuck you like.
Yeah. Don't name them Hillary.
Anything you like, you can do whatever you like. Drugs, whoring, you can go fucking curb calling. Do whatever you fucking like. Just don't go Hillary Benn on me.
Because he's like the opposite of his dad, isn't he? Basically.
Oh yeah, basically.
Well, yeah, Blairite, Remainer.
Blairite, Remainer, reverse Brexit, going to all the Middle East wars, that sort of thing.
His voting record is shocking.
Yeah.
Like I said, like Ben would, Tony would fucking roll in his grave if he saw his voting record. And people listen to him, and he's one of my best quotes, one of my favorite quotes of Tony Benn is that when people ask him, "Why did you leave Parliament?" and he goes, "Well, I left Parliament to concentrate on my politics."
Yeah,
and I think that's fucking brilliant. Sometimes you have to extract yourself to learn more.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I remember his son became an MP. I think it was in '99 when Tony Benn was a couple of years before he resigned as a MP. I think. I mean,
Hillary Benn was one of the first ones that, because Tony Blair had his policy of imposing candidates on constituencies whether they liked it or not.
Wow.
And Hillary Benn was the first one they did. It was it was one of the first by-elections of Blair's first term in Leeds, and they went, "Nope, you can have Hillary Benn. We don't care what the constituency thinks."
Wow.
Pick my candidate. I'm Mr. Blair.
Yeah, but it was going back to George Galloway's documentary. He basically talked about how Blair was basically a dictator within the party.
Yeah, in politics, we do about different prime ministers and how they treated the cabinet and how much they involved other people. And like we compared Blair over Iraq to Callaghan over the IMF loan. And so Callaghan had like 2 weeks of discussions, papers. Each minister got to put forward their plan, be questioned, and then they had votes at the end. Blair over Iraq did it all through one-on-one meetings, dodgy deals with different ministers, and not giving them any information.
Wow. I mean, but how would you rank the Labour prime ministers that we've had from left to right? Who's the most left wing and who's the most right wing? Like, in order.
I'd go Attlee, McDonald. No, I'd say Attlee, Wilson, McDonald, Callaghan, and then Brown, Blair. Am I missing?
Yeah. Where would you put Corbyn on that scale?
I'd say his personal views. He's pretty similar to Attlee on domestic policy, but more left on foreign policy. But I'd say the actual Labour manifesto was more of a kind of
very
Wilson-type
pragmatic
manifesto.
Very pragmatic.
Yeah. And Wilson was of all pragmatists, Wilson was it.
Yeah. But Clive Lewis essentially is, I think, is the person that dragged it slightly to the right, especially on foreign policy, because he's ex-military, isn't he? Clive Lewis.
Yeah, but he is ex-military, but he opposed all of the wars when they actually happened.
Yes, but he's pro nuclear weapons, which
well, he voted against nuclear weapons in the vote. May's first debate. He's kind of, I think he wants to see the
pro Trident.
Yeah, I think he's more multilateralist. He's not perfect on the issue. He's not where I know I am. I'm a unilateralist.
I'm me too. I'm totally unilateralist.
Well, people always go, well, oh look, we're going to get bombed. Sorry, Germany, Italy, Japan, Canada, New Zealand, Australia quaking in their boots. No. We can save however many billions it's going to end up costing.
200 billion,
and we can spend
over
that
5
on
years.
Actually good things for our country.
Yeah.
Do you know what? In the age we are now, right? In 2018, right? 200 billion over 5 years. If you delegate that to research and development into maybe just swatting those bombs out of the sky, maybe other kinds of warfare, this whole MAD idea. MAD, do you know MAD?
Oh yeah, mutually assured destruction.
Exactly right. Yeah. It is just mad, So
especially because it assumes that the leadership of all the countries that have them are sane, but Kim Jong-un's not sane, so it destroys any idea.
Kim Jong-un. I
think he plays up how insane he is, but I think he's certainly not someone that's afraid of his own destruction.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, the South Koreans aren't panicking, so I'm not. So
the problem with the whole nukes thing is once you invented it, you can't uninvent it.
Well, you could use that argument with chemical weapons, though, and they're banned.
Yeah, I mean that's what with the whole Salisbury thing, and then Russia said, "Oh, we've got rid of all of ours," isn't it?
Well, it turns out you could have created it in a fucking garage, according to new scientists.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with like the whole disarmament thing, but I don't. There's no point unless everyone agrees to it, which won't happen. That's the only issue with it. So, but I'd agree with scrapping Trident because it's wasted money. We're never going to use it realistically, and especially with Corbyn as PM, we need to spend money on better things. To be honest.
Again, we're left to the same debate as to well, we should have it because we haven't been nuked yet, so that means It must
we
work.
weren't
So
even
that
before
means
we
we
had it,
should
that's the
put
thing.
more money into it.
Yeah.
This fucking logic, man. It fucking does my head in, and it's
Especially
stupid
the
fucking
Blairites who support this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, do you know who doesn't support it though?
Who doesn't?
Former Conservative Defence Secretary Michael Portillo says it's a waste of money and not independent.
Mr. Choo Choo.
Michael
Also,
Portillo, of all people.
Michael Portello, isn't he the guy that's on this week?
Yeah.
Every week, Mr. Choo Choo. That Mr. Portillo, and also Peter Hitchens doesn't support it either. He'd rather the money like put into traditional forces, traditional defense. Like everybody attacks Jeremy Corbyn, like, oh, you're gonna, withdraw us from the UN or whatever. Well, I'm sorry, but Theresa May, you've just fucked our traditional forces because you just reduced them by 70,000.
Yeah.
Which every way you cut it, that's quite a lot.
Because she was Home Secretary since 2010 before she became PM.
Oh, she was a horrible bitch when she was Home Secretary as well.
Oh God, I mean, but the thing is, the Tories say we're going to be tough on crime, we're going to be tough on terror, but I mean, you supply weapons to the Middle East, you cut our police forces, so you're not very tough on terror and crime, are you? You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing that I said earlier about Labour having the right, dignified but clever response to Manchester in the middle of an election campaign. Was incredibly clever from, I expect it was Seamus Milne and John McDonnell and the real politicos behind the Corbyn project.
Yeah.
Probably thought up the exact line, and it was a perfect line because it said, what a tragedy, first of all, but then also said...
I don't think so. I think you're wrong, actually. Yes, it was played right, but I don't think it was spun, right?
No, it wasn't. It's not. I
actually think it came from the heart, like from the guys, and that's the difference. You know,
if it was completely without any kind of line, then it was just happened to be a coincidence that it worked out extremely well and shows just how great Jeremy Corbyn's judgment is. It's another reading of it.
He's been proved right time and time again. Every single time on foreign policy, on domestic policy, everything.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what does my head in about this fucking new coup, right? They've tried it. Democratically, but now they're trying it through other means, which means Zionists trying to unseat him.
Yeah, because they've used up everything against him, but the only thing they could use now is the fact that he's pro-Palestine and he doesn't support Israel. That's
exactly. So because he's pro-Palestine, that must mean that he's anti-Semitic, surely?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
To be fair, they did the same thing to fucking Ken Livingstone.
Yeah, that's one. He's been thrown under the bus, I think, by a lot of people that owe a lot to him, because I think the Labour leadership should have defended Ken Livingstone and gone, he might have been saying silly things, but he wasn't anti-Semitic. And considering that John McDonnell owes his career to Ken Livingstone, because he was Ken Livingstone's finance chair on the Greater London Council, I would have thought that they would have backed him rather than letting him go, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. But
Ken Livingstone has been used as a bat to beat the PLP for not the PLP, the CLP for basically for the life of them. It's always used as a bat to hit Jeremy Corbyn with.
And there are plenty of issues
suspended essentially.
there's plenty of issues of anti-Semitism in all parties, including Labour, but that's not one. Ken Livingstone isn't anti-Semitic, and it's a strange one, I think.
Yeah, but it's like it's weird. The right always accuse the left of using the race card. Oh, you're playing the race card, but they're doing the exact same thing when they call people anti-Semitic when criticizing Israel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was weird. I got a similar reaction from some right winger on Twitter. We were debating Brexit as usual. He was a Remainer. I was a Brexiteer, and he got fed up with me. So guess what he said? He said, "You're anti-Semitic because you got #Free Palestine in your title." I was like, "What does that have to do with anything?" You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, this is. I really get tired, right, of trying to explain to people how being anti-Zionist is not, or anti-Israeli foreign policy is not being anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is that they want the right wants you to think that it is anti-Semitic, and it is a tool because they're too busy. Especially the Conservative Party are too busy selling weapons to Israel to bomb Palestine. You know, there are so many tropes on This Week. I was watching it earlier. There are so many tropes that they were saying, "Oh yeah, he's a member of these anti-Semitic Facebook groups." And when we looked up, I looked up with Captain Swiss, right? It turns out that no, they were just pro-Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah, but the problem
are
is...
Are you going to have some anti-Semitic people join that? Probably. You know, being a pro-Palestine, you will probably get that there. Granted. But is it a crime to be a member of a pro-Palestine Facebook group? No, I don't think so.
I remember we were talking about, I think it was Tommy Robinson, some other people earlier. What I've noticed with all these far-right people is they're all Zionists and they've made multiple visits to Israel, and there must be something to do with this whole narrative. So
well, the strange thing about a lot of these people is that they're Zionist, and they're not just Zionists, they're militantly pro-Israel to the point where it's actually quite scary, but they're anti-Semitic as well. A lot of these people are like, it's the classic case is the American right. So you'll often hear in the American right a lot of anti-Semitism.
You're gonna need to like give me some evidence. Like,
there was Jerry Falwell, who was the evangelical guy that got a lot of evangelical Christians into politics, shifted the Republican Party, things like that. And he made a catalogue of derogatory remarks about Jews, but he was also a member of IPAC.
Yeah, wow.
Fair enough.
Wow, I didn't know that. But I was watching videos on this, and it turns out most of the prominent Zionist politicians and such, they're not even Jews themselves.
Well, yeah, that's the point. A lot of most Zionists aren't Jews, and most Jews, or maybe not most Jews.
Okay. So Jews see themselves as a race, and they want to see themselves. I'm sorry if I see anti-Semitic, but I'm attacking this as through ignorance rather than being anti-Semitist or anti kind of skeptical, anti whatever. So if you look on Wikipedia, a Jew is it's a race, right? So this is half the reason why it's such a problem, right? Yes, you with me so far?
Yep.
Okay, so what does a Jew look like?
No idea. It could be anyone.
So why is it a race then?
I don't know, but wasn't there this rule in Judaism where Judaism is passed through the mother or something? I don't know. That might have.
Oh yeah. Judaism's passed so through your mother, but
But
answer my question.
people, I don't understand.
What is?
Because you hear, but the thing is, you hear about people converting to Judaism, and then if that's the case, then how can they be a race if people are allowed to convert to Judaism?
Well, no. You can convert to Judaism, but you cannot be a Jew. What does a Jew look like?
I don't know exactly. And the thing is, with the whole Zionist thing, they give the argument that Israel was foretold in the Bible or something, but the big problem with that argument is the people that created and settled in Israel were European Jews. They weren't the Semitic Jews that they were talking about. So that's another argument against it.
Okay, so what does a Jew look like?
Exactly, I don't know.
Okay, George, what do you think?
I'm not really sure because I don't pretend to be an expert on this issue in particular, and so I honestly don't know. But on Wednesday when we had Jennifer on here, who has Jewish heritage, she's very opposed to the witch hunt against Corbyn and things like that, and she's opposed to Israeli war crimes and things like that as well. And so there's obviously a massive separation between supporting Israel and being
see that Jews as a race or Jews as a kind of a following.
Well, she's not like a practicing Jew, but she's what you said, you kind of described as Judaism as a race, to put it in quotes.
Yeah. Apparently it is a race. I don't understand, because I've never met someone that can actually describe. Okay, so anti-Semitism is racism, right? I mean, I'm not being stupid here. Like, anti-Semitism is racism. You're with me, right?
Yeah, I get you, Drift.
Okay, so if it's racism, then to be a Jew must have a race, and they say that they are a race, just the same as Koreans. Koreans are very, very proud people, and they hate being called Chinese or Japanese, for instance. Same, really, surely. An uneducated person to look at an Asian person, an Eastern Europe Asian person. Do you know the difference between a Japanese person, a Chinese person, and a Korean?
But the thing is, they could always be. Well, you can sort of tell. I don't know. It's hard to tell actually, but it's the thing.
Could you really?
Not really. If you
not really.
Yeah,
so then you're racist, mate. You're racist.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell, then you're racist, right?
Yeah.
Well, no. This makes no fucking sense. Okay. Let's cut through the fucking ignorance, right? And say, okay, well, this is there are differences between, Koreans are their own race, okay? Japanese people have their own race, and Chinese people have their own race. If Jewish people have their own race, I'm just clueless as to what a Jewish person looks like. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I just can't. Does that make me an anti-Semite?
No.
Also, I tell you what does make me an anti-Semite, though. Fucking infant genital mutilation. fuck that shit. What the fuck gives them the right to cut away some poor boy's cock? Like, I mean, honestly,
They've already in Iceland. They've banned that, haven't they?
yeah. I did hear that recently. Yeah, of course they should do. And they said it was
And,
just because of
like,
equality.
what I
They'd banned female genital mutilation, so why not do circumcision as well? And I really appreciate that. They also
Yeah, and I don't think
they also said that if you're Jewish and you want to get it done later in life and it's your own decision, they also allowed it, which I thought was really cool.
Well, yeah, if you're a consenting adult and you've got no problem with it, then go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. If you're Jewish or Muslim and you want to get circumcised, do it. But a newborn baby can't consent to that. They might not want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
that's
there was a guy that was interviewed on LBC with Nick Ferrari, and he said, "Well, it's just all about equality. That's all."
Yeah,
it's quite simple, you know. We don't allow female circumcision, so why would we allow male circumcision?
Yeah, because the whole, everyone talks about female equality, but surely if they have the right to that, then surely males should have the right to it too. You know what I mean? Should go both ways. Yeah, exactly. Because you see all the whole feminist movements about equal pay and stuff like that, but it should go both ways. It shouldn't just be for females. So exactly, that's a good idea what they did there.
Swings and roundabouts. The door always swings both ways, mate. Always swings both ways.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. But yeah, speaking of LBC, did you watch Swiss's when Swiss went on to the Nigel Farage show? Have you seen that?
Yes, I have, but no.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. What do you think of LBC? What do you think about the presenters? Because I actually got blocked by James O'Brien.
Really?
I don't know why. I'll show you.
I think I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, I've done it on Twitter. I posted a thing, but I don't know why. I don't know why he blocked me. Maybe because he's like liberal, pro EU, that sort of thing. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I haven't said anything to him. That's the thing. I've never tweeted him or said anything bad to him. So I don't know why he blocked me.
Like I've been on the radio. I've been following James OB, right? Because he's the only one really. I mean, like, again, when I talk to you about how the left has been woefully represented, even on LBC, like, how many lefties are there on the radio?
No, I mean, a lot of them are right wing. You've got Ferrari, you've got Farage, you've got Ian Dale,
Yeah, they're all right wing, like proper right as well.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit right. They make no apologies as the fact that how right wing they actually are. In fact, Ian Dale was a Conservative
candidate.
Yeah,
exactly.
He
was a candidate. Yeah.
But James OB, I've seen him over the last 2-3 years lurch slowly to the left, which has been quite nice.
Yeah.
Because he's such a argumentative bastard.
Yeah.
Especially
when it comes to Brexit as well. I think that's why he probably blocked me. He just saw left wing.
Yeah, but the thing is, he'll never admit when he's wrong, right? Which is the first thing.
Yeah, maybe that's why he blocked me. I don't know, but I've never said anything to him, so that's weird. So.
The other thing is, he doesn't understand the case from the left. He thinks that the democratic deficit,
Yeah.
okay, is okay to give up due to economic reasons, which someone like Swiss or yourself, you can't give up that democratic deficit.
because
I mean, that's all
yeah.
or nothing. How can
because how can you be a prosperous nation if you don't have a proper democracy?
Exactly. So he doesn't understand that. But I've seen him lurch slowly to the left. And I've also seen him completely just chastise, especially recently, when it comes to the anti-Semitism like shit. You know, he's actually destroyed Corbyn and he doesn't trust Corbyn.
Yeah. But
everybody's asked him why, and he's like, I don't know. There is no
but
reason.
he's still part of the liberal establishment. That's why he's so anti-Brexit, for example, and he can't really accept the arguments from the left. So I think that's a big he's still part of the liberal establishment, so I think that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know why he blocked me. Maybe because I'm a left-wing Brexiteer, and he didn't. I don't know. He probably didn't understand the arguments from the left. But yeah, it's weird. Have you had anyone famous block you on Twitter? Just wondering.
I've just got back into Twitter, to be honest. Yeah. I've literally been in, like, imagine I'm like new to Twitter, so that's me.
Yeah, I'm pretty new to Twitter because I've only managed. I think I told you I only really got.
I'm sorry, Asim. I know. With the greater respect, I really need to go because I'm shit faced and it's 26 in the morning.
Oh shit!
Did you get any of that?
Oh wow! It's nearly 6 on your side. Wow.
What I said was I'm really shit faced, and it's 26 in the morning.
That's right. But I really appreciate you have the time to do this because obviously 8-hour time difference. So, you know.
So it's like just coming at 10 o'clock your end.
No, it's 8:43 here. So we're still pretty early in the evening. It's all right when I'm not tired.
Yeah, but it's early in the morning here now.
Oh yeah. So I mean, you should. Yeah, I mean,
if you want to go, you just go. No worries.
Yeah, it's all right.
George, again, normally, because this conversation is really good, really good. Normally, I'll just say, I'll just carry on, but I have to draw a line in that somewhere. Fuck's sake, I'm really tired. I'm really tired. But yeah, totally. I completely agree. Is it okay to say Asim?
Yeah.
Because George did earlier. That's why. George, I wrote Asim's name in Korean earlier. That was quite cool. A couple of days ago.
Obviously, a lot to do.
Wasn't it? I was on your Q&A thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, actually. I was a bit nervous because I didn't know what it was like, but I really enjoyed it in the end. Really fascinating.
It's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Good. Yeah, most people are quite nervous. I don't know why when they come on to
But the thing is, I guess it's because it's live and they're broadcasting to people they don't know. It's like when you perform somewhere and you don't know most of the people.
I don't broadcast to anybody. I think we had like about 3 people watch that live.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we've still got 10 viewers at the moment, so it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, George, you're awesome. I need to get you on my channel. We'll do a Q&A.
I tried to have me on that time, and my hangouts didn't work.
Yeah.
The Q&A is wicked, man.
Yeah, because
ask Asim for my details. Follow me on.
Because you've only Twitter. Interviewed one of the 3 presenters of the channel. So
exactly, any one of the. Yeah, you're the first one. One of 3.
It's George and Calvin next. So George next, and then we can do Calvin. I think it's a good idea.
Calvin's trying to be really cautious though about his.
No, because wasn't he doing that councillor thing?
Yeah, he's standing to be a Labour councillor.
All right, I need to sleep.
Right, Shamsi
Right.
really needs to go.
All right.
I do. Bye.
Bye. That was great. I really enjoyed that. It's proper deep conversations. Oh, how about we do a little bit of half an hour or so of just because that's the whole reason I create this stream to roast FBPE trolls. To do some of that because I saw some brilliant ones earlier. It was I think it was about anti-Semitism or some other crap. Yeah, I'll show you my screen here. It's just ridiculous. Some of this stuff. Screen share. Okay. Oh, but yeah, let's start. The Blairites don't think we're important. Evolve politics. I don't think are important enough. That's weird. I've never seen an FBPE troll criticize Blairites before. That's really interesting. Wise and reasonable. Supermajority. Going Dutch. Dutch. Can you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
You flag media. But I saw some brilliant ones earlier. We need to go back. It's partly agnostic. Vote for any anti-Brexit party, and Labour isn't it at the moment. Oh, see, what we were talking about with Calvin, wasn't it? He talked about this whole council elections and nothing to do with Brexit. Here's another one.
Yeah, and Angels talked about it as well on the stream, Swiss's Sunday stream, that because she was talking about she's standing to be an independent councillor.
Yeah.
And so she's standing for what her policy is on the bin collections and things like that and local issues. Nothing to do with Brexit.
Yeah. I mean, she's very heavily Remain, but
yeah, she is a
little
centrist.
Yeah, I think it was what was it? Swiss was saying it's like he told me about my channel. It's like our channel's very similar to his, but where we actually diss centrists because they're not featured. You know. Yeah.
No, I'm sure if Angels wanted to come on, we'd be perfectly civil, but
yeah. Perfectly well, but I think it'd be interesting to hear her views, to be honest, because like I've told Chamchi on his Q&A, you know, we're more than happy to have people from both Remain and Leave on here. But I'd love to have a Remain person and grill them a bit on Brexit. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, Calvin's got a lot of people that he knows from his kind of Labour woke circles or whatever you want to call them, that are Remainers and really socially liberal, when obviously us two kind of aren't.
Yeah, well, but I was one of those until June 2017. I was one of those liberal types.
That's because you were a liberal elite.
As a middle class, well, my parents voted Remain, to be fair, so I think I got brainwashed. But anyway, but to be fair, what Chamchi was saying, the left argument wasn't heard, so I felt a bit incomplete until I saw like Tony Benn and people like that arguing the case for Leave.
Yeah, apart from George Galloway, no lefties were arguing in the referendum.
But they were arguing, but this wasn't broadcast. It was only events and stuff. You know, it's ridiculous. But then again, the BBC tried to spin it as a pure right-wing Leave was racist and, you know, that sort of agenda. But that's BBC, isn't it? Liberal bias. As I thought, became Brexiteer. It was only oh, no, this guy was pulling my trick, you know, this morning. Because I said I turned into Tony Blair worshipping Lib Dem this morning. So, yeah, he's like... Yeah. Yeah, you know, it'd be funny if like someone like Angel said she's gonna become like a communist Brexiteer or something. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. What did you do for April Fools? Did you do anything interesting?
Not really. I'm not really an interesting person, am I?
Oh, this Ramona's. Yeah, some more April Fool's stuff. Oh God. If I'd wanted that, I'd move back to Hobbiton or back to... Why are they talking about Brexit when it comes to 1650 the year? Vote Remain, vote Green Party, vote Lib Dem. Oh, God. Manufacturing industry is running in the interests of financial engineers. A lot of value. But the thing is, the engineering things, we can't invest in engineering unless we actually leave. So I don't see what they're... Because it's the whole thing with illegal state aid, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think what we should do, I think there's John Mills and a few other people on who are left leaning. They said we should vote to leave. We should get Labour in and invest and rebalance the economy more to manufacturing, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah. We've become a
It's just
financial services
but
economy.
we don't make anything. That's the problem. We don't make our way in the world. That's why you see China, India, USA, the Asian countries, like they're the biggest economies in the world and we aren't. It's because they make stuff and we don't. So, and that's one of his arguments for weakening the pound and why it's a good thing, because he saw manufacturing surge after the referendum when the pound tanked. So, I do agree with a weak pound, but I think, like I said, we need to lower VAT first to counteract that.
Yeah, that's VAT. If you lower it, it will help throttle it'll help stop any inflation that would come from more public spending.
Yeah.
And we'd like to get it well below 15% ideally. And guess what?
Yeah.
Whilst you're in the EU,
you can't get it below 15. Yeah. And I mean, I think it was a Labour government, I can't remember which one, that brought it down to 10% or something. I can't remember what Labour government it was, but I remember one of them did. But yeah, sorry.
When it always used to be below 10% for a long time.
Yeah.
And then John Major increased it to 17.5 in 1993.
Yeah. And then Blair didn't lower it, did he? Because obviously he's right wing. So.
And because by then the EU rules had come in.
Yeah. But he was strongly pro EU. He'd do anything to please them. He opened up the borders to 10 new countries in 2004, and he was very close to making us join the euro as well.
Yeah. So. If it he promised that it'd have to happen by referendum, so I don't think he would have got it through anyway. But it was mainly stopped by Gordon Brown.
Yeah. Because that's what people say. Gordon Brown, the only good thing he did as Chancellor was not make history join the euro.
Yeah, I think him as Chancellor, he was pretty poor. As Prime Minister, I think he was a bit better. I think he gets a lot of stick for a lot of things that weren't his fault.
Yeah. But the thing is, they blame the crash on him, don't they?
Yeah, and in a way, him not regulating the banks was partly his fault. But guess what? The Tories advocated even less regulation of the banks when they were in opposition. So.
Yeah, that's true, but it's because I remember it's really funny. I think it was Jeremy Clarkson when Gordon Brown was still Prime Minister, and he said, "What was it? We have a one-eyed Scottish idiot as Prime Minister." Yeah, that's Jeremy Clarkson though. Yeah, I just find it really funny. Lots of beautiful eggs. Oh, here's another one. My family's Easter haul this year. Loads of beautiful eggs from Italy because EU travel is currently so easy and hassle-free. Nipped over for a couple of days to go shopping. Nobody's going to take their freedom away from me. Stop.
There couldn't be anything more liberal elite than that, could there? Oh, yeah. I just popped over for Italy for a couple of days to a villa in Tuscany or something.
Yeah, liberal elite, that's the thing. It's with the whole, I'd support, the thing is with freedom of movement. Most people can't even afford that, and the freedom of movement is being used to bring labour over here to drive down wages and conditions. So it's the opposite way around.
I think you retweeted and liked, and Paul Embry liked my tweet about freedom of movement.
Yeah. I think he's liked some of my tweets. I was talking about it too, actually.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He talks a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it's the comments on the article are even worse. They basically go, homeless man who voted leave, I don't support freedom of movement, Guardian Easter. But now you won't be able to afford to go. You won't be able to go on holiday in a luxury Spanish villa.
To a villa, yeah. I saw that one. Yeah, it's just so. Yeah, but I mean, I'd much rather give up freedom of movement than have to have control over immigration. But then liberal elite are going to come after me and say, "Oh, you're racist," No,
it's not racist to say a country should have control over who comes in and who doesn't.
That's part of a sovereign nation. You should have full control over your destiny. EU referendum was so many reasons Brexit is wrong. Oh, this is interesting. The referendum lottery at the Scottish Assembly. Outcome, whether to the European Union, EU 52%. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, but then yeah, I mean it was wrong to have the 40% threshold.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that doesn't mean that.
I remember after the referendum, it was the whole the Ramonas were saying we should increase the threshold to 75% because only 72% of people voted.
Yeah, what the threshold did was basically 40% of eligible people that were on the register had to actively go and vote for it, as well as 50% of the people that voted.
Yeah.
Which was a weird thing because the turnout wasn't that high. It meant that they didn't get their assembly that they obviously wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. An FBP. Oh, here's one that I don't agree with because she says Indie Rep 2, independent Wales and stuff. But then again, you can't be independent while you're in the EU. But what do you think about the monarchy? And she says, that she doesn't agree with monarchy. I don't agree with monarchy either, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't agree with the monarchy, but
yeah, but you're left wing working class, so I'm not surprised.
As Jeremy Corbyn said, it's not really the big issue of our time, is it?
No.
Like I won't.
So we're wasting loads of money on these people as well. It's our money.
I won't go and. It's not my big issue, the monarchy. I mean, I won't.
Yeah.
Watch any of their weddings or anything like that,
yeah.
and
yeah.
I won't sing their anthem.
Yeah, the only sort of thing that brought my attention to the monarchy recently was, the Joe Marnie and the whole, making racist comments about Meghan Markle. That was the only thing that made put the royal family to my attention recently, but that was it. And ask you a question about this national security. But the thing is, David Lammy, he did this whole second referendum, that thing after the referendum. He was like, let's put it to the people in a second referendum, which is stupid. Oh, AC Grayling, your favourite person. All the more reasons to vote for a pro-EU party on May the 3rd. Write and tag your MPs. Tell them they're not in the chamber on April that their party will be punished a few days later severely.
So stupid.
Yeah. What do you have to
say
to
Why are they doing this?
But it's a Sunday roast. Say what the hell you want to these people. They're going to see this later.
Well, just fuck off. There's not much else to say.
Yeah.
If they had any, this is the problem. This shows how liberal elite they are again. Because if they were the kind of person that was worried about whether the local childcare services or the local Sure Start Centre or whatever, whether the bins were going to be collected or anything like that, if they were someone that those issues affected, then they wouldn't be making this kind of snobbish, we're going to vote about Brexit in an election about local services.
Yeah. But the thing is, they don't realise that if we stayed, the EU will have control over our bin services and stuff eventually,
Yeah, they'll try their best. I mean, everyone said, oh, don't worry, they won't be able to get a monetary union.
But they're pushing for it, and they want control over taxes now as well.
Yeah, they want to start having some control over taxes, and it's just the wrong move because with power, one of the lessons that we should learn from some of the failures of previous Labour governments like Attlee and Wilson and Callaghan was that it was a little bit too top down. It was a little bit too centralised. So what we should be doing is looking to devolve power, have really powerful local councils again, like the Greater London Council was in the 80s with Ken Livingstone and John McDonnell running it. Because they're the people that are elected by local people that know their area and can run their services. We should be looking to move power away from
the people because we have a chance because we're leaving a dictatorship. So we need to actually give people more power because what's the point of having Brexit and then having like House of Lords, unelected and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Brexit's just stage one of democratic reform to make us a better country.
That's one of the left-wing reasons for leaving. That was Paul Embry. He said it really well, that we must leave first and then have a Labour government because we can't implement most of our policies if we stay.
Yeah, and he's not as left as me or you or Calvin, but he's much more left than most of the Parliamentary Labour Party. He's the kind of person that back in like the 70s
Yeah.
would have been called the Labour right. That
Yeah.
was the old Labour right.
Yeah.
But the Labour Party's become so centrist that now they'd
Yeah.
probably consider him on the left.
Yeah, because the Labour Party, they was called the Labour right back then, but Blair moved it all the way to the right. That, you know, they basically called left wingers like Corbyn like communists, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, pissing myself laughing. This man facilitates Maybot in a delivery of a toxic Brexit FBPE. The Corbyn cult is as bad as the Brexit one.
Oh.
What do you have to say to that?
So if Jeremy Corbyn decided for some reason, and he won't, and I really hope he doesn't, that he wanted to become the leader of second referendum, stop Brexit, he wouldn't be able to do it because guess what? He doesn't have a parliamentary majority.
Yeah. And even if
he did want to do it, he doesn't have the power.
Yeah. No, but even if he did come to power and do well, even if he at the next election he said we're going to stop Brexit, he'd lose 40% of his vote instantly. You know.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I would still vote Labour because of the domestic issues.
Yeah, but the thing is with me,
there's a lot of people that wouldn't.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a harder Brexiteer than you are, and if it comes to that, I'll probably spoil my ballot paper.
I'd say if that did happen and you were intent on not voting Labour, and it's not going to happen because Labour aren't going to come out as the party of full-on Remain. If they didn't, but I'd say you should vote for some kind of local independent. Have a look at who the local independents are, or a trade union, socialist coalition candidate, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen. But if it did happen, he'd lose the election anyway. So
April Fool's oh, it's funny. Anita Hona, wouldn't that be lovely? April Fool's message, which urgently needs to come through. Leads for Europe, FBP, Brexit cancelled, government response.
In a way, I agree. The referendum was a bit flawed.
Yeah.
It was especially flawed by all the George Osbornes promising a budget to put up income tax, 800,000 jobs lost. It was really flawed. I agree.
Yeah, day one recession, June the 24th. Yeah.
And these kind of, I mean, I don't think referendums generally. I mean, there's some situations by which I'd say a referendum could be useful.
Yeah, like you were saying about the border poll thing as well.
Yeah, like a border poll in Ireland or something along those lines. But I don't think that a referendum on the EU was a good idea. I'd prefer to have left, like, in 1983, the Labour manifesto said, we'll just leave.
Yeah.
We promise that if we get into government, day one, we'll notify Europe that we're leaving.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, we would actually be better off at this point because we wouldn't have to converge to all these EU rules and regulations. I think we'd be better off if we left them.
Well, if we left in 83 then, it would have been a lot better, and it was part of a plan. Because that's the problem with Leave now. That's why they're struggling so much with negotiations and stuff. No one has a plan because Cameron didn't plan for it. The Leave campaign,
he was so arrogant. He actually said, "I'm not going to plan for it." He said, "We're just going to vote to Remain." He was so arrogant.
Yeah, but in that 83 election, Michael Foot and Peter Shaw, who was his chancellor, and another Brexiteer, who would have been his Chancellor of the Exchequer because he was his shadow Chancellor in opposition.
Yeah.
They had been planning for it for quite a long time because they were both Leavers. They were going to be in charge if Foot had won the election. So they'd planned for it, and they would have been able to go straight away and negotiated a deal with a mandate and with a plan. But we don't have a plan. No one's got a plan. Still no one's got a plan.
Oh, here's another one. The best April Fool's joke of the day. The European Parliament has poked fun of Britain's new blue post-Brexit passports. It claims that all EU passports are to become dark blue, FBPE. What do you think of that?
Oh, they're just Like their favourite thing to do is say, "Oh, Brexiteers only caring about blue passports." No Brexiteers care
I
about the
don't give
colour
a
of the
crap
passport.
about blue passports. I don't
It's
give a crap.
Remainers that think we do.
Yeah, it's the same thing with immigration. I don't have a problem with immigration. I have a problem with free movement. You know, but the problem is the liberal elite. They think that freedom of movement for them, they don't see the bigger picture of freedom of movement. Sure, they can go to their villas and their holidays, but they don't see the people that come here. It's just really...
they don't see the people that end up agency workers that are depressing wages and things like that, and it's not their fault, but it's a natural consequence. And also, a large scale of immigration from other countries robs other countries of their skilled people.
Oh, here's another one. As a proud Scouser, thank you. I just find it really insulting that this even some working class people are like FBPE. It's just insulting, to be honest. And it says Liverpool manager says Britain should have remained in the EU to help Europe resolve issues. I'm sorry, but the EU has all this plan, so how can we solve anything? You know.
Yeah, it's a shame because on economic issues, Jurgen Klopp's brilliant. He follows in the tradition of loads of other old Liverpool managers like Bill Shankly and Bob Paisley that were passionate socialists.
Yeah.
But he's a Remainer.
It's hypocritical. It's like you have all these good ideas, but if you vote to remain, you throw that all out the window. You know. Oh, here's another one. Immigration isn't pushing wages down, but Brexit certainly will. Well, the problem is the Tories have pushed wages down, and plus wages have. I think Paul Embry has said it several times that the wages have risen in the lower end jobs because there's less free movement.
Yeah.
Putin's useful idiot speaks. I'm not a big fan of Farage, but I think to call him Putin's useful idiot is a bit too much. It's progressive. Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
So, ouch, the unicorn bites the dust. Progressive. Why are they calling themselves progressive? I find that insulting.
Well, no, that's another thing. The words that people used to use for the left, like progressive, have been hijacked by people that are centrists, but they'll never be able to hijack socialists. Never, ever.
Yeah. But to be fair, Blair said he was a socialist.
But I mean, when Blair, do you know how I can always tell how Blair's lying? Do you know how?
Oh.
He's opening his mouth.
Oh, Iraq. Oh, but did you see the BBC have had so many interviews on him since Brexit. He had a very recent one. It's ridiculous. And he's basically trotting the line that Brexit will be, and he said, it's uncertain terms. We don't know what we're going to get.
It's the best thing ever. Paul Embry said this as well on Twitter. He went, this is the best thing for the Leave campaign possibly, having Tony Blair arguing for Remain.
Yeah, because, you know, if people say to me, Leave was full of racists and it was led by racists, but I'll say to the Remain campaign, well, you were led by terrorists, so you have really nothing on us, do you? You know.
and cokehead George Osborne as well.
Yeah, austerity man. Ugh. He killed like 120,000 people, didn't he? Basically.
Something like that. I've got in my book, my Labour's programme 1982, which was obviously when Foot was leader. Got a really good passage about just the EU and it says that too often in the past we've seen how this hostility expressed in a fall in business confidence and a flight of capital has created an atmosphere of crisis in which Labour governments have been unable to implement their social priorities. An attack on the pound, obstruction by the EEC, by the House of Lords or by the civil service, or refusal to cooperate by the city or the multinationals, any one of these could become a roadblock. We believe we have the policies to deal with such roadblocks. See, this was when Labour didn't hide that we're socialists, and guess what? We're going to do socialism.
Yeah.
Like now, like you saw it with Ed Miliband, who on his actual policies is quite left-wing. Yeah. He hid it and tried to pretend that he was some sort of centrist.
Red Ed.
This
Yeah.
is when Labour owned its
Yeah.
socialism
Yeah. I mean,
and
that's
took on the
yeah.
EEC and the House of
Yeah.
Lords and
I
the
mean,
civil
that's
service.
when Jeremy Corbyn came in. I mean, him and McDonnell were very Eurosceptic, and they've only really tried to toe the Remain and Customs Union line because of the Blairites in the party. But like I've said on several occasions, I still think Corbyn and McDonnell voted Leave. So
Yeah, and I think Boris probably voted Remain as well.
Boris. Yeah, it's. Did you see some of his speeches during Brexit? Even though he was on the Leave campaign, his speeches were awful.
Yeah, and apparently, because he wrote an article explaining why he was going to campaign for Leave, apparently he wrote an article for the Remain side as well, and then decided which one to send on the deadline.
Yeah. Wow. But it's Boris being Boris, though, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, he's a numpty.
Yeah.
That's the thing about him. He's
Boris.
incredibly clever, but he's a numpty at the same time.
Yeah.
Like academically, he's probably one of the cleverest people in the country.
Yeah.
But he's just an idiot as well.
Yeah. No, but he says he says the most stupid things though. Yeah. Here's another one. Great to see the marvelous flying an EU flag alongside the red dragon. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. Labour will take its share of the blame for Brexit shame. Oh my god. The New European, Alistair Campbell's newspaper, of course.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh god. Let's see who wrote this. This is interesting. Who wrote this? Don't know. The man himself wrote it. The man himself.
Oh.
Let's how about we read? Let's read this. This is good. Jeremy Corbyn, having sacked Owen Smith, the leader of the opposition, is now close to the government on Brexit than a majority of Labour MPs. Vast majority of the members claim to this too. Well, the problem is most of the Labour MPs are disconnected from the people who voted for them. So, Mr. Starmer, no matter what the deal, there's no resisting the out decision. This is why I use Brextremist in my Twitter profile, because he invented the word and it's so catchy. For extremists like Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg than he is to the millions of the country who oppose Brexit. He's so few in Parliament. But the thing is, most people want to get on with it, so I don't see where the millions are, you know. The unsacked, having made the same point, Smith, final Brexit deal to people's vote. But opposition, and it's at EU, have it oppose. Google for it. He's basically trying to lecture Corbyn now.
I think he'd take lectures from quite a few people, but the organiser of the greatest foreign policy mistake this country's ever made isn't one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he did an interview with Stephen Edgington. He's a young Tory, 18-year-old Tory who supported Leave. But he basically went to Stephen's face and he called him a Brextremist, which I found hilarious. Even though me and Stephen don't agree on anything apart from Brexit, I thought the way that he was just handling it was a bit disrespectful, to be honest, how Alistair handled it. But yeah.
Yeah, I've got 5 more minutes and then I need to eat.
Oh, sure. I need to eat too, actually. So, yeah, I think we should wrap this up, actually. So,
all right.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up. So, yeah, because we've got 5 minutes, I think we should... So what are our plans for Wednesday, then?
Well, Calvin's got the guest, hasn't he? He's got Sam Gorst.
Yeah. So yeah, can you tell everyone a little bit about him, because we've still got 8 viewers, and you know.
Well, I don't know that much about him, but he's running for a Momentum post.
Oh, okay. That would be interesting, actually. Ask about the Momentum inner workings. That would be interesting, actually.
Yeah, I think he's a Remainer, so you can have a little.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're gonna have to warn him at the start of the stream that I'm like a pretty hard Brexiteer. So, yeah.
Well, compared to the rest of the country, I'm a really hard Brexiteer. You just go even further somehow.
Yeah. No, I guess it's the fact I was alienated towards Remain, and I don't know, maybe because I did some more independent research on it. I think probably. But I'm more extreme because I just saw the way that the government handled it and how they capitulated to everything, and then I just thought, you know, what the hell? I'd rather much leave now and start building ourselves up again than actually.
Yeah. on the basics, I don't think we have any disagreements. I think it's just on little questions of minute detail.
Yeah,
and
like you were saying about the MPs having the final vote and stuff. You're talking about how they can stop it, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean,
that comes back to me not really liking referendums.
Fair enough. But yeah, but I sort of agree that the referendum, it was needed because of the EU after they. It was sort of like we dodged a bullet because the EU after the referendum, they started coming up with these ridiculous things. How they said, "Aha, we're going to build a United States of Europe all along. We're going to do a monetary union. We're going to do a banking union. We're going to have like a finance minister." I mean, but I think it was Jonathan Pye who said again, if they had said this stuff during the referendum as it was happening, Leave would have won by a landslide. I would have thought.
Yeah, it would have been like 60-40 if they.
Yeah, or even 70.
Everyone had heard about the USA.
Yeah, even like 70-30 even. If the EU had said ridiculous stuff like that, because then the Remainers can't deny, they can't say, oh, the people are lying and stuff, when it's your side that are saying these things. It's the people who represent you that are saying it, you know.
Yeah, I think, the referendum they had in 1975 on the EEC?
Yeah.
There's a great film about it by Michael Cockrell, and I'm going to send it to you because you should watch it. It's actually really good.
Yeah. Oh, I think we should I should watch it, or maybe we should do like some sort of separate video where we all do an analysis on it. You know how Swiss does with like PMQs. I think that'd be quite cool actually, because we're more of a Brexit-oriented channel, so that'd be quite interesting.
Yes, I think it's 11 minutes long.
Oh,
it's not that long.
That'd be great. We could probably watch it during the stream if we do a separate one to this.
Would we get copyright strike then?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'll have a look. But I mean, Swiss does stuff all the time on the BBC, so I don't see how he's got strikes at the moment. So you know. But I mean, we've got what? I'll just check. I don't know, but last time I checked during the stream, we had 31 subscribers. Oh, we got 32 now. That's really cool. So we've got 32 subscribers. All the people that watched our streams earlier, that was part of Swiss's stream. So we got like Shafted and Adam West. That's quite cool. But yeah, we've got some new subscribers. So we're up to 32. So we're getting there, which is cool. So
yeah, and it's the kind of thing that once you kind of break out and get a few more people watching from different audiences, then you kind of get into like Swiss territory. Then you're in a position where you can move to even more people.
Yeah, because
it's the kind of thing you might start off with no subscribers, well, barely any for a long time, and then suddenly you kind of
that's what Swiss was telling us in our very first stream, wasn't he, about how it only recently exploded after the election. But yeah,
I've sent the EU referendum 75 thing.
Got it. So yeah, it's been great. So I think we should wrap this up now. So yeah, everyone, just tune in on Wednesday when we have our guest. So George, tell everyone.
And we'll have Calvin back.
Yeah, Calvin's back, and we have the guest. Who was it again? Just remind everyone.
Sam Gorst.
Sam Gorst. Okay.
He was a youth delegate to the Labour conference last year as well.
Oh, interesting. That'd be really cool to ask him about that. But yeah, I mean, let's wrap this up then. So thanks for watching, everyone. Right. I guess. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. See you, Asim.
All right. See you.